What's up and welcome to another Mograph Mocast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt, and joining us today is our good friend, Collin Leix.
Woo, hello.
And Mograph is a supplement to our site, mograph.com, which is a motion graphics tutorial site with tutorials, plugins, podcasts, and other Mograph stuff. And on the show, we talk about everything ranging from motion graphics to Cinema 4D, After Effects, plugins, render engines, doing business, doing taxes, being a contractor, or working for the man. You can email us info@mograph.com. Let us know what you think about the show. Questions, comments, concerns, queries, grievances, topic ideas, artist suggestions. We're all over the place. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, mograph.com. Send it in. It can be something new, but it can be something that's super advanced. We'll try to answer it the best we can. Like this email from Gabriella who says, "Hi. I finished the Unreal Engine course. I just want to say thank you for offering this course. I had a lot of fun with this course and wish it would never end. This was one of the best experiences I've had with Unreal and an Unreal course. I would say this should be the course Unreal should be offering on their virtual production online learning. I skimmed through the courses they have now that they have available and saw that they go over some similar aspects, but definitely don't touch on Cinema 4D or go into depth as much as this course did. So again, thank you. It was exactly what I need to fall in love with Unreal Engine. P.S. How long will the course be available to me? I asked because I plan to use it continuously as a reference when creating some of my own projects."
It's a really good question. We've actually had this question asked a few times from people who are buying or like thinking about buying the course. All the courses that you buy on our site, it's indefinite. So it's perpetual. So you get to you will get to reference back to it as long as you want. You know,
the updates and all the updates
any updates.
and things.
Yeah.
And new stuff that comes out in there.
Yeah.
That you wouldn't find in the torrent. That will be continuously updating. And also, got another one here from Phil Buckland who says, "Just wanted to say that I've completed the Windbush Unreal course and wanted to pass on my thanks for such an amazingly well thought out introduction to Unreal. I've been doing a bit of self-initiated stuff, but this has been a brilliant way to focus my learning on motion design bits of Unreal and not get bogged down with a lot of the heavier interactive stuff. If you're looking for feedback, I suggest a little bit more of an overview on baked lighting and what screen space reflections actually are. But now here's the deal. We can expand on that if we need to. If we feel that the course doesn't offer enough and we're getting that feedback. So definitely let us know. If you feel like there's something that maybe we need to put a little adjustment lesson in for, let us know. And that's what you get. You'll have lifetime access to that. So amazing feedback.
Another good thing is like we have people who are going through, especially with the Houdini course, we have people who are going through and asking questions. Like they're like, "Oh, I'm having trouble with this, blah, blah, blah." And Mark's there just answering questions. I get the emails all weekend, of someone asking a question, him digging into their project and looking at it, It's nice to be able to have that discussion as well. So.
Yeah, and if you have any questions on any particular chapter, you just hit the discussion button and the course instructor gets that message. And so just feel free to ask questions. People are finishing the class. They're giving us great feedback on like Instagram stories and things like that. It's really nice to see. And also, Mark, we're talking to Mark about these 18.5 updates because we might need to update some things for the course and maybe add to it and the functionality, maybe a couple tutorials covering some of the new stuff coming out. So make sure you stay tuned for that. If you're interested in Unreal, I want to make sure, I know we have a lot of new listeners who might not even know we offer that course, but Stop Being Afraid of Houdini is a 40-hour course on Houdini, and it's super comprehensive. Now, if you are a complete noob to 3D in general, it's probably not the best starting place. It definitely is up there. You got to know what X, Y, and Z is and whatnot. So make sure that you're prepared. It's super hardcore. Now, contrast, Windbush's course is a beginner's course for somebody in Unreal who has not touched it at all. Yeah, it would be good if you knew some Cinema 4D and 3D stuff ahead of time, but it's way more beginner in that aspect. Yeah. Also, I wanted to mention that here's the thing. I have a special request for everybody listening. Special request, because we want to make this as a really cool deal. On October 30th, we would really love for people to call in on Skype, and we'll have that information
Friday,
available.
So come on,
Friday.
you like it's easy. It's gonna be a good chill day.
Yeah.
It's the end of the month, so no work, right?
The day before Halloween.
The day before Halloween.
Everybody's gonna be slacking off anyway. So we want you to call into our show. It'll be at our regular show time of 12 noon Central. And just get on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Mograph. Make sure you ding that bell so you get those updates. And join us. We're going to have people call in. Now, if you can't call in, if you can't join us live, we would like to get emails from you of your client horror stories. Yeah. We're going to be having...
spooky stories.
Yeah. Spooky client stories from hell. Yeah. We're going to have readings of them. If you want to send them in, info@mograph.com. But we would love for you to call in because we have a super fun set.
Dave has created a very fun set. It's going to be cool.
We've got the cauldron bubbling, and we're going to summon our callers to tell us stories, and they're going to appear above the cauldron in a magic mirror and tell us their stories. And it's going to be us and EJ and David Ariev. And so I really would love, this is my special request, call in on that day. It's going to be fun.
Billy, how in the world did you get 3090s?
Right? I know. Write that in there.
And Julie, your comment on they call it Adobe Audition, not Adobe Production. Oh, I love that. That's so good. That needs to be a shirt.
Oh man, that is great. That's exactly true though.
She's a clever girl.
I do have a promo here for the Halloween episode if you would like to see. So
do it.
Here, I'm going to roll that real quick.
It's a social distance Halloween. Scary samples, ghostly greebles, and client horror stories. Join us October 30th and call in with your favorite spooky renders and client stories from hell. Subscribe and sign up for alerts to join the fun.
That's it. That's it.
So good.
I worked way
Dave,
too
will you
long
tell
on that.
will you tell the listeners about the voiceover? Do you want to talk about the voiceover because it's incredible.
So that was not a voiceover by any person.
Yeah.
So there is...
Is it a robot?
Well, kind of. It's like it uses samples. It's something called Descript, and you pay, and you can write anything, and you can pick these different voices and inflections. Now, it's not 100% perfect. You kind of have to mess with the script in order to get something that doesn't sound weird.
Say things correctly.
Yeah.
Right?
What?
But yeah. Of course, I was making it say bad words to Matt the other day and things like that, you know. And then my parents were over here, and I was showing them around the studio and what I was working on. And I was like, "Yeah, I got this software that does this," and I pull it up, and it has all these bad words on it, like. It's like
That's crazy.
But
I wonder what the voiceover artists still have to do differently to keep their jobs.
Right. I know it's cool,
I don't know.
Though.
I think it would be interesting to like
voice.
Yeah. Dave can do his own. Like they give you they have you read like
the
a
Wizard
chapter
of Oz.
or something. Oh, of the Wizard of Oz
for like 30
and so
minutes.
that'll analyze it. Dude, he sent me some stuff like that was just like that was completely fake. You know.
Yeah.
It was
But it sounded really real.
It sounded extremely real. I couldn't tell the difference. You know,
combine that with
what would be
deepfakes
interesting is like being able to license out different voices. You know, as a voiceover artist, like okay, you can do whatever you want. You just license out this my voice. Oh boy, did we lose Dave? Did we lose everything? Everything? Oh no. Okay, never mind.
We froze for a second.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
Yeah, keep going.
Oh boy, Dave,
we are actual people. We're not
is
robots.
my audio doing that thing now that we lost
it's
internet?
super clicky.
always with the things. Okay, I'm gonna go just to you guys. I'm gonna go to this to my webcam microphone. That is so weird that happened.
Speaking of Dave's voice,
yeah, now it sounds fine.
How's that? Yeah, I'm using my webcam for y'all, but don't worry about it. We'll keep going. Anyway, what were you saying, Matt, about the thing?
I don't remember. Something about things.
Just like licensing out your voice.
Oh yeah. It'd be interesting to license out your voice. Like, you know, all right, $10,000, you can have my voice say whatever. You know, you just type it in, and so you no longer need me, you know, to read all your voiceover stuffs. You know, you just, you know, license it out, and then you could do like a different version of your voice. You know, I don't know. That'd be interesting. like licensing out a song or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
The deep fake side of it makes me nervous,
Yeah.
because then it's just like, can you believe what Matt said?
Yeah.
I know.
Here's a recording of it.
We saw, I think, was it EJ or Ariev was sending us, or maybe it was you, David, that was sending us a video of fake Trump like words and stuff, because someone has taken Trump's voice and made it say whatever. Or maybe it was a thing on Twitter, basically saying that
I didn't see that.
that maybe it was EJ that said EJ's the worst person in the world. He's fake news or something. I don't know.
Oh, that's funny.
It's funny. Yeah.
He's
It's
fake
good.
news.
So you used it now. You're part of the future. You
Right.
used a robot voiceover.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's the address Descript. It's DESCRIPT, and it's a monthly. You can try it out. You can do a trial, but there's a monthly cost for it. But what's really cool about it is it will bring in WAV files and things like that. So let's say you have a podcast, you can go through and edit the podcast and take the things out of it that you don't want based on that. And it will kind of re-edit the podcast for you. Or if you wanted to add a word and say, oh, well, right here, there should have been an A instead of an and, you can change that and it will fix the voice. Then you re-export it. Really?
That's useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, again, make sure you save that date for October 30th and call in with your client stories from hell. Also, we would like people to send in cool Halloween renders that they like.
Yeah,
because we're going to
cool.
look at them. We're going to look at them and critique them and things. And you could either send that to us ahead of time or you could call in and show us what you like. We're getting in the spirit, yo. Oh. Yeah, before we get to the main topics of the day, I just wanted to switch quickly to Ravcock. What's your flavor?
What's your flavor?
This is where we go over all the different render engines and things in the news. And the first thing I wanted to talk about, and basically the only thing I wanted to talk about, was Octane today with these announcements. The GTC talk was freaking fantastic.
Yeah, it was crazy seeing Arnold running inside a Octane live viewer. Like, I can't even tell you how cool that's going to be. Like, I see where Octane's going now. Rewind to like 3 years ago where I was like, they're all over the place,
Yeah.
But now, like, I'm eating my words. I am eating my words because, like, I think they're finally getting. Oh, I don't know. They're killing it. They're just killing it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so good. He was showing how you could flip between Octane and Arnold within like a kernel. Basically, it comes up as a kernel.
That's what from what I understand, that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
Like switching from Brigade to Octane to Arnold, any one of those, like it's just a drop down.
And that
will
will
be
work
insane
as far as like doing render and things like that. But it's also, he was also showing how you could do it to where you
render both
both
images at the same time.
Like two renders at the same time and then like combine the render passes.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, my mind is blown right now. Like if you could use Redshift Fog with Octane render.
Right. In the Slack, he was talking about like, that they've been talking about doing a compositor. I don't know whether it's just talk or they're actively working on it, but where you can render out different passes of different things at the same time. So like you select, using a crypto pass, which ones you want in Octane and which ones you want in Arnold. And then you just mix the two together in your compositing app.
It's so cool. It's so cool. I was just, to me, it felt like, back in the day when Apple really, really would get you excited about a keynote. Now the keynotes are like, meh. But like the keynotes when Steve Jobs would come out and it's just like, oh my gosh, it's like Christmas. And you're just like, oh my gosh, this is all so cool. How in the world are they doing this? That's the only thing that makes me feel like that now is when these presentations come out. And I'm like, how in the world are they doing all of this stuff? And so I'm hoping we could have Jules on the show. I've kind of held a date and to see if we can work out a time for him to come talk and answer questions and stuff, because I had a million questions. I know everybody else does.
Oh, and the big news with World Creator.
Yep, there's that
right?
too. World Creator.
So World Creator will be, I don't know if it's going to be implemented into, but they're partnering with World Creator like they have with Embergen.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's crazy. I'm so excited about that.
So cool. Also cool. And
Otoy's killing it.
Gosh, I mean, the Brigade stuff is going so fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to try it.
The anime render looked really cool,
I knew there was something else. Yeah, the anime render.
Yeah, anime render. So, like, that's one thing that I always, like, when they introduced, like, the toon render in Octane years back, I tried it out, and it's like, okay, I get it. It makes kind of a cool effect, but there was no reason that I would want to use that over Sketch and Toon, because Sketch and Toon is just, it renders so fast, you know, in comparison to still just throwing samples at it. But this, it's like, this is instant, you know? And so being able to get that awesome, like, anime, you know, Sketch and Toon looking render almost instantly is incredible, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that was rendering at what, 60 frames per second? I don't know.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
do you imagine doing a cartoon like that?
Oh,
you know? Just being like, all right, render
in real time. Yeah.
Right.
So that's about it for that. And so I wanted to go to our main topic of the day, which is Collin.
Hi, Collin.
Woo. Hello.
We got a lot to talk about. I put a lot on my list here. I was looking at your website and your Instagram and seeing some of the stuff you've been doing lately. We met at Chris Schmidt's house.
At Chris Schmidt's house, yes. Yeah.
What year was that? 2016?
I think so.
I don't know. I can look it up. It was a while ago, yeah.
2017, somewhere in there. And that is the first time. That was the infamous night. The first time we went over there and drank whiskey out of cereal bowls and whatnot.
Out of cereal bowls, yeah.
We had no cups.
Yeah.
And
that was like a surreal experience because, like, we're just hanging out with all these big name people in our industry, and me and you, Collin, were on a team playing Cards Against Humanity with Andrew Kramer, and it's like, all right.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was just kind of clinging onto the group. I didn't, like, nobody knew who I was really, but I was just like, I don't know. I kind of made friends with EJ that night, and was just like, I met you guys. You guys are so sweet. So
that was a lot of fun. It was
really fun.
Yeah, that was a crazy fun night.
One of my great half-res memories from back in the day. And it's like, with COVID and all of that kind of stuff, I sometimes get a little depressed. You know,
sometimes,
like, I mean, as far as like the industry, we're not hanging out in person anymore, and it feels so different right now. And I think back on those memories, and I'm like, oh man, those were the days. Remember? In fact, last night, Julie and I were making pizza. We made like little Caesar salad and low carb pizza, and we set it on the counter, and we're sitting there, and we're like, man, this is like going to Cece's. You remember going to Cece's? You remember going to pizza buffets? Can you imagine going to a pizza buffet right now?
I got Cece's the other day. I got Cece's the other day.
Like, sit down at like the buffet.
No, I didn't sit down. But here's the thing. This is what they're doing. It's not like a grab your own buffet thing. They put the pizzas out, but they're all behind sneeze guards. And so you have to tell the people what you want, and then they'll get them.
But it's just that concept to me right now just sounds so incredibly horrifying to, I wouldn't want to step foot in one of those right now. And to each their own. But it was like so sad to think, wow, you remember when you could go to a pizza buffet? Like, it was just so sad. And just thinking, okay, these meetups we used to do, I just hope that the community aspect of the industry and all of that stays together. We're trying to keep that together, so when things are coming back around, it comes back around. And we haven't, like, skipped a generation. I don't want the new up and coming generation to not know what those community events felt like, because that was it. That was such a big deal. So, like, if you haven't gone to these and you're new to this, and then COVID just happened, please remember that when community events start coming back, it is so much fun, and you definitely want to get out to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so different to have unexpected things happen and just little adventures spontaneously happen.
Yeah.
It's really different.
Like playing Cards Against Humanity at Chris Schmidt's house at 3 a.m.
I know.
Gotta have that. It's such great
I know.
bonding. So
Yeah.
anyway, so we met. You are in Detroit, and you work for Gunner. How long have you been there?
I officially started in the middle of 2018, but I did kind of a 3-month trial period before that. So I pretty much since the beginning of 2018.
And what were you doing before
Yeah.
that? Were you freelance or working somewhere else?
I was freelance. Yeah. I just came at it from a fine art background. So I sort of taught myself animation. I took a couple classes at a community college, but I finished a master's degree at University of Michigan for painting and installation. And so I didn't really know anybody, but I loved animation. I was a musician, so I was really drawn to time-based work. But I just kind of started to teach myself animation and started to learn things little by little. So and then really the big change for me was meeting the group in Detroit that does Mograph Monday meetups. So Julie Craft's project. That really was a huge turning point for me.
What instrument, by the way?
Thing. Oh, violin.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's a tough one, too. That is not easy.
Yes. No, I started when I was little, so I got that early brain working on it.
Was it didn't happen to be Suzuki method. Was it Suzuki method? Yes, it was.
It was Suzuki.
Wow.
Did you play?
I played Suzuki method piano. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and there were...
I didn't know they had piano.
Oh, yeah. Suzuki was huge, and it was a lot of the same music. The piano and violin, specifically Suzuki methods, were really big back in the 80s. And so anytime I hear someone did violin in the 80s, I'm like, was it Suzuki?
Oh, yep. Sure was.
Yeah, I remember the book.
What is Suzuki method?
I actually was just going to say, I don't actually remember what that method is.
It's just kind of a... How do I explain? I mean, it's just a way of learning music. That's the person's name who came up with this method, and so the books followed a specific course, way of learning. Yeah. And it applied to both, and there were a lot of the same music in both too, Lightly Row and Mississippi Hot Dog and all of that kind of stuff. So remember Mississippi Hot Dog?
Deep memories. Yeah. Deep memories. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really cool because we talk a lot about the fact that a lot of motion designers have the music background, and there's something about it that, especially when you're young and you're doing Suzuki method in your early years, and something happens in your brain where I don't know, it triggers something artistic. I feel like the people that we meet, we're like Matt and I used to work. We brought that up. We're like, everybody here has a music background. Everybody played an instrument. Yeah. And
same with
it's just like something.
We're all failed musicians.
Right. Exactly.
I think it's about the rhythm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just kind of
Yeah.
And even the way that we talk, I'm sure you guys do the same thing, but if you would walk into Gunner one day, working with Ian, my boss, just trying to figure out how something should go, he'd be like, maybe more instead of
Yeah, I know exactly what that animation is.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true.
There's a lot of sounds and gestures and stuff.
It makes sense though, and then you've got your painting as well, which
I have to say, the having a fine art background and being so I talk a lot about how, people get a graphic design background and then move into this, but I think it's so unique and interesting that you have a fine art background and you're working in this, because it comes through in your work. You can definitely see that. And it's beautiful work specifically because of that.
I appreciate that. Appreciate it a lot. It's interesting. I feel like I struggle with things being almost too emotive and detailed and almost gooey. I'm trying right now to get better at design and actually giving my stuff more of backbones and some contrast and harder lines and stuff, because but yeah, of course, I'm just jumping to what the negative side is of it. But I appreciate that. It was animation just sort of called to me for that reason. Like I can make my paintings move. Yeah.
Well, and it's not just painting. It's not just painting on paper. It's you've got that interior painting background as well. And I saw what you've been posting on, I think, Instagram and whatnot. Of you've been doing this in your own house. There you go.
Yeah. This is just like me being cooped up. It's like a COVID
I was gonna say, is it COVID? Because
really?
I saw even like the archways in your
Very
house. You
much.
did these cool like paintings and things with, you
Oh,
know.
thanks. Yeah. It's kind of just, well, we officially bought our house in March.
Congrats.
It was really bizarre timing.
Yeah.
And then I was just kind of going crazy and just like, oh, I wish that there was an archway in our house, so I'll just paint one instead.
Oh, that's funny. You know what? That's so funny because I was looking at that image and I was like, oh yeah, that's a cool archway. And not even realizing that it's not an actual archway. It's just a door.
Yeah.
I know. My husband is very, very patient and just like, sure, do whatever you want. So it's like half finished. There's empty paint cans in our kitchen. So yeah, this is nervous
Was
energy.
that something that you learned in college as well? That doing artwork on architectural, or was it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I did murals in high school a bit too. Yeah, so that's just kind of something I'd played with a bit. And then in grad school, it was really just a really wide open master's program where you could do whatever you wanted. It was in the University of Michigan was like your little playground. So you could get funding and you had to take one class every semester that was not art. And it had to be master's level. So
That's cool.
It was really hard. Yeah, but it was so cool. So it was like all those like fringe interests you have, they encouraged you to go look into it. And it was a real class, but the teachers were kind of like, what are you doing here again? Like, sure, fine. Have a B or like pass. Like they didn't, sometimes they didn't know what to do with me, but I got to take, digital music, anthropology.
Cool.
I studied like Islamic calligraphy and stuff. And,
Oh, wow.
And in undergrad, I studied a little bit of architecture and art history. So yeah, I think I've just been kind of climbing up on walls for a while. And my thesis project ended up being a project that was on the ceiling. I basically made these sculptures that were kind of up about 10 feet. And then the way you looked at it is by walking with a mirror underneath your face. And it tricked your body into thinking you were walking on the ceiling, sort of.
Cool.
So it was, my teacher called it like poor man's virtual reality, which I think ultimately led to my interest in VR now. But so yeah, I was like dipping fabric in wax and sewing it together and making weird, installations on the ceiling.
Nice.
So I've been kind of busting out for a while.
Yeah, and that kind of leads into the VR thing too. Like VR wise,
Yeah, I was gonna say
you've done tons of sculpting stuff. We chatted a bit off air. I think during whenever that was, SIGGRAPH, when you presented.
Yeah, July.
And, so you've been using a few different programs, right? What's your favorite VR painting or sculpting program?
That's a good question. It's kind of between three of them. I really love Medium, which is the one that really sculpts more like meshes, a contained mesh, like a 3D mesh. I think because that's what I used for the blend titles. And that was it was so full of discovery, especially like Nick Forshee and I worked really closely trying to get things working with cinema. And it was just so full of magic. And so I was able to like paint a coral reef in an hour. And it was just like, that was some early summer of 2019. And there was just so many like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And then from there, I love Quill because that one is kind of more like drawing with strips and it's a lot more lightweight. But that one has this move tool that you can just like pull on something. You just sort of nudge stuff almost like it's, I don't know, it's just really pliable.
Almost like it's a not a deformer, a modifier.
Like a liquefy or something.
Totally, exactly. Yeah, it's just like liquefy, but it's fast and immediate and just really, I just love it so much. It's really gestural.
That's cool.
And then Tilt Brush is the first one I ever used actually in 2016. And I still like that because you can use it on the Quest, like the standalone headsets.
Oh, cool.
And you can't use Quill or Medium yet. So that one I just take it to go. And
you're in the coffee shop.
Yeah.
I know. I've seen videos of people using them on airplanes and stuff, and I haven't gone that far, but I've had times where I had to go like stay in a hotel room for a while, and I just bring my little headset and I can draw in Tilt Brush. So
that's cool. That's fun.
I've sat and done like Medium for considerable amount of time before, 2 or 3 hours. And if you're comfortable,
how'd you like it?
Fine. And
were you uncomfortable?
Well, it's one of those things where it depends on what you're playing in VR, whether or not you're like, okay, I'm getting a little dizzy, or I'm getting just my eyes are a little fatigued, or whatever it is. But it is very comfortable to sit there in a chair or something for a long time.
Yeah,
Dave used to he used to listen to some loud music and sit in his chair, kick back in his chair, and then just do Medium for a couple hours.
Nice. That's a good way to decompress.
Drinking some wine or other things.
I think some sort of candies could be involved at some point. It might be helpful. It's nice. It's relaxing.
Yeah, and with the untethered headsets, you can actually be in your bed.
Oh, yeah.
My husband's walked in at some point, and I'm just laying in the bed. And he's like, "Are you okay?"
That's funny.
I know.
Oh, that's so funny.
And then I see there's this trend of not always women, but there's some women who go into VR and they're performative with it. They're just like, they put on music and like a sexy dress, and they're like actually drawing, like they're really active, and it's just so not my style. Like it's cool, but I'm just like
Yeah, I can see that. It's like one of those performative or painting pieces where you go see like a famous artist do their thing where they're like slapping paint around with brushes and making a big mess, and it's just like a whole thing. Yeah. It's in VR.
It's cool. It's really cool. It just seems so vulnerable. I've done VR. I showed it to a class once, and I was like fine in there, and then I take it off, and there's just like all these people looking at me,
staring at you.
That's too vulnerable. I don't know.
Yeah, AR will be better because you could see the people laughing at you as you're doing it, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'll just keep doing it by myself in my room.
Yeah, I like the idea too of being untethered like that. I'm thinking maybe this next version of the headset that's coming out will be a good one to get. We're talking about it.
Dave and I are gonna get we're talking about getting the new Quest for as a company wide Christmas present.
Nice. Yep.
Either that or a new Xbox, one of the two.
Yeah.
Why not both?
Why not both? I
agree.
Try it.
Liam says bees.
Bees. Our Cat Mograph shirts. Yeah. This was the last week. Was super sad about it.
Oh.
Yeah. It should have been this past week.
Would have been.
But that's okay. We miss everyone.
Add it to the tally of losses.
I know.
2020.
Next year, though. Next year.
It's going to be insane. It's gonna be
I was talking to people.
There will be vaccines.
Winkleman we were talking, he was like, I got this thing on my calendar, this Camp Mograph thing right now for this week. I'm like, oh man, that makes me sad. I was like, we could have been in the woods doing shrooms with Ash Thorpe.
Yeah, or something like
not
that.
Not really. But I was
you never
joking.
know.
But yeah, I'm just so sad. Like, it would have been so good. But the thing is that it's rescheduled for next year, and I think that it's going to be actually really nice. It's the weather.
I think it's going to be so nice because it's in September now, early September. So yeah, it's going to be fantastic. Anyway, back to you in VR.
Buffer.
Yes. Are you doing a course? You mentioned something in a comment on one of your photos. Are you doing a VR course?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm doing a Skillshare course. It's sort of like, it's a Skillshare lab. So it's not exactly like a Skillshare original where they fly you out and stuff. This is basically a version where you just do it in your house and you record it yourself.
Oh, cool.
But then they still promote it and stuff. So I think there are some courses in VR on Tilt Brush is what I'm doing on Skillshare, but none that were produced by Skillshare yet. So yeah, it's fun. It's a cool process. They're making me like write everything out first, which is good. I can't just jump into it. So it's a lot of prep.
Yeah.
So it's really going to be for illustrators, for people who already kind of have experience with drawing or maybe already have something that they know what they want to recreate. And then the process of kind of digesting it, thinking about how it'll work in 3D space and getting in and making a sketch. And I'm really focusing on, in Tilt Brush, you can add like a light and have shadows and stuff, which sounds like it would be a good thing, but I think it actually works against you to make something look yours, to look really original. It just looks really tilt brushy to me.
Okay.
So I'm going to be talking about mixing colors to actually recreate the feeling of textures. I guess kind of like that.
Yeah.
Just like slightly different colors and figuring out how to mix your own palettes and stuff.
That's cool.
And bring things into 3D space.
So let's talk about your journey a little bit too,
cool.
because we talked about going to school, but what happened after school? What was your journey to get to to freelance?
What was the catalyst?
Great question. I had a total meltdown. So much so that I heard about a woman in town who supposedly like channels this ancient spirit.
I'm liking this story already. All right.
I mean, so this woman, like, I'm not actually trying to make fun of her. Like, I don't know. There's things in the world we don't understand. She actually like says she channels this really like ancient wise guy. I tried to go talk to her and him, and she actually, from my email, she was like, I don't know if we can help you. Like, I was having a total meltdown because I was just like, and I've been chasing painting for so long, and I don't know how I'm going to make any money. And I learned Photoshop to make my invites for my thesis project in 2012. Like, I did not know technology, really. I was using iPhoto. I started to make some stop motion animations in school, but I was using iPhoto and bringing in the photos and one by one making them short, like 1.1 second or whatever. I just didn't know. And a video that I made, I recently found it. It was 420p, and that was my like nice version of it.
Nice.
So that's where I was in 2012 when I graduated. And there was a community college, Washtenaw Community College, that I started going to and learned the basics of After Effects. And then, I actually ended up talking to some animation professors and stuff, and basically just putting out the word that I'm starting to learn this, and I was gaining momentum, and basically throw me your scraps. Like if anybody has something that they can't do or whatever. I was leaning kind of on the fact that I had a visual aesthetic.
Yeah.
I just was really trying to play catch up with the actual skills. So I did actually this sort of residency at this museum in Ann Arbor where they had you choose a piece of artwork and make a short film about it.
That's cool.
And it was cool. I chose this conch shell trumpet. So like a 1800s Tibetan conch shell trumpet. And I used that project to like push myself with After Effects.
Cool.
I made that in 2013. I'd be happy to link it to you afterwards if anyone's curious. It's sort of part stop motion on a light box, and then as the piece progresses, it's 100% After Effects because I like learned After Effects.
That's funny.
Trying to make it look painterly, sort of. So that was kind of the beginning of it, and I think by 2015 is when I met Julie and the Detroit crew, the Mograph Mondays crew. So it's funny. So my colleague Rachel Reed just went freelance. She's everybody probably knows Rachel, the incredible cell animator and 3D animator. And she was nervous about it. And I just was like, I made it work. And I didn't know anybody. Like, you're Rachel Reed, you'll be great. She has been. She's been really busy. But it made me realize in contrast, I didn't know anybody. I didn't know that much yet. I learned Cinema 4D because I thought I was going to be able to like recreate physical things. Like I wanted to create wax and have something move underneath wax, but have it be digital so I could have more control.
Right.
I didn't know what I was doing. But it was a lot of project-based learning. So I would kind of come up with my own project and then
I think that's
make
the
the
best
skills.
way to do
Yeah,
it.
that's
catch
what
up.
I was going to ask is how you got
and
how you learned in Cinema 4D.
yeah. I mean, they say like with I've taken a few programming courses and I never could understand it, right? I really had trouble with it. But number one thing that people say whenever you're learning to program or something is come up with a project, something that you need to learn, because then you'll figure it out. I love that way of learning.
Yeah, me too. I think it's definitely the best way because you care. You really care about it.
Mm-hmm. You're not just filling in the blank for a teacher to, give you an A or a pass or something like that. You're doing it for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was a lot of tutorials and a lot of just scrappiness. I did a music video for a friend. That was like a 4-minute long music video with all these characters and just figured out how to rig them. There was like dolphins jumping out of water and stuff. And it's painful for me to look at now, but
is it on your Instagram? Can you check it out?
But,
come on, post it. We want to see it.
I'll send you little bits. Some little bits.
So, is a majority of the work that you do at Gunner in VR?
Good question. I would say not the majority. I would say it's starting to show up in most projects, or at least 3D projects that I work on, like the School of Motion intro for the Ascent class. I did the final letters that float up.
Oh, I didn't know
Ascent.
that.
They're kind of like moon crusty. Yeah, I just kind of went in and subtracted in VR, and it was just much more easy and physical. I'd say I still work a lot between After Effects, Cinema, and right now I'm in Photoshop a lot.
See, I thought EJ did that intro. Who did that? Who did it?
Oh no, Gunner did it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How is it determined? Like, what is going to be like when you're going to use VR? Like, do you do any like sculpting in Cinema? Or like ZBrush or something like that? And at what point do you say, okay, I'm going to model this in Cinema versus, okay, I'm going to model this in VR,
Yeah, great question. I think the organicness of it is a huge part. Like how much, like if you're going to draw like seaweed with something in the Ascent opening again, that I just went into VR and just kind of twisted this thing to make it look not just so perfect, but when something needs to be precise, it's totally still Cinema. We're working on a short film right now that's a 3D piece about 3 women in an airplane and something strange happens. It's my little teaser.
I like it. I'm interested already.
It's been slow moving because we've learned that being a part, client work is fine. We're just like, it's totally easy to keep in touch and figure it out. But the creative stuff is a little more challenging, like the side projects. But so with this one, it's kind of a painterly style. Like it's actually the final look is kind of hand painted looking, but we have to fill a whole airplane of people. So that's a really good chance for me to just be like, well, it's going to be a little fuzzy and stuff. I'll just go into medium and just like whip up some people.
Yeah.
Just kind of, it's much faster.
How much of your time do you spend in VR? Like on a day-to-day basis?
At Gunner?
Yeah.
Oh, day-to-day? I'm going to get in there after we finish today. I would say not that much, maybe like 4 or 5 hours a week.
Okay, that's not too bad.
But it's regular. I mean, it's kind of project by project. Like there will be a point where I'm modeling this airplane full of people and it might be 40 hours a week.
See, wow. I do that too, but that's because I'm addicted to Beat Saber. Yeah,
well, that's good. That's exercise.
Yeah, do you get sick?
Do you ever get sick or like headaches or migraines or something from being on that having the headset on for too long?
Well, I definitely always take breaks.
That's good.
Yeah, so I like to listen to a podcast or something, and if it's like an hour, then when it ends, it's a good time to take a break.
That's smart. Yeah.
Yeah. because it's physical. It's the most physical tech that we've had yet, really.
Yeah.
No, but I'm lucky. I don't really get seasick unless it's a program that's like the world is moving. But these creation softwares, you're just in a place.
Yeah.
It's like not really moving, and you're totally in control if anything's zooming or moving.
Yeah. I feel like you would also be exhausted by the end of the day some days. It's like if you're working in VR for 8 hours, it's like a workout, you know?
It is. That's why I'm laying down for no, I'm kidding. But no, I guess maybe that's misleading. I probably don't do full 8 hours in it a day. Maybe like chunks of a couple hours with a good lunch break and going outside and trying to focus my eyes on a faraway tree.
Right.
But probably that's the weirdest thing is eye focus.
Mm-hmm.
I can't figure that out actually. Excuse me, because I think your eyes, I mean, obviously the screen's right here, but I think you're still focusing on faraway things.
Your eyes are tricked.
Yeah.
It's not like they're looking at pixels. They're looking at...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
We're looking
it's like doing a 3D,
pixels.
3D eye, magic eye poster or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. So I haven't quite figured that out, but I do remember the first time I did VR with my friend Nick Parente. We were doing this ascent. There was kind of like stars and mountains and stuff, and he took his glasses off just because they were kind of in the way. And I remember him saying the stars were blurry.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, that's just so interesting because they're right here where he can see, but it's recreating distance in a way that your eyesight doesn't.
Yeah, and it's
continue.
difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, because I have to wear glasses anytime I play or put in contacts, which stinks.
I heard the Quest 2 hopefully is better for glasses.
Yeah. I've heard you can also buy lenses that are actually your prescription, which would be absolutely
that would be nice.
Amazing,
That'd be great.
That's expensive.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're very, very serious about it.
How many different VR headsets have you used? Like, I'm curious to know which ones are your favorites, which one you like working on more, which one you feel like has, are there a difference in like color clarity,
control.
And stuff like
Good
that?
Question. I am actually pretty unrefined with this stuff. Like when I follow like the subreddits talking about, VR stuff and everyone's like, oh, the screen door effect is gone and it looks so much better. And I actually am not that tuned into that stuff. I've heard I think Sony has a headset. I'm blanking.
Yeah.
There's one that I've never tried that apparently is really good color and everything. The Quest 2 that's coming out is supposedly really great. The first one I ever used was a Vive in 2016. And that one had these big towers you have to like hang from the ceiling or put in the corner of the room. I love that because it was my first.
Yeah.
But I ultimately it's I'm sure I'm still recording here. So then the Rift I think is probably the most comfortable. We had the Rift and the Rift S at work. I use a Rift S at home here. The original Quest I think is the least comfortable. The first standalone headset. So I actually have to put my ponytail through the back of it to like counterbalance it. So I've just been like, what do people do when they don't have a ponytail?
Yeah.
It's just so forward heavy. It's like 2.5 pounds. I can't remember. I think the Rift is just 2.
I wonder if people could start having neck issues or any of that kind of stuff. And Chris in the chat says a couple people on Slack were having a discussion in VR at length. I guess there was a Twitter feed of a developer whose eyesight was screwed up, and VR contributed to it. It's almost like The Jerk. Have you seen the movie The Jerk? Is it The Jerk with the glasses?
Yes.
Yeah, it's The Jerk
in the middle, and everybody goes.
Everyone focuses on the bridge thing, So he's got to pay everyone $1.32.
No, we watched that recently, and I fell asleep, so I don't remember that.
That was close to the end, right?
I love that movie.
I don't need anything
so much. When she comes in crying, she's like, I just heard a song that reminded me of the way we were. Well, what song was it? The the way we were.
He hates these cans.
He hates these
He
cans.
really hates these cans. All right,
I don't need
I'll go back and
anything
watch it
except
again.
this remote
You
control.
should.
I don't. But other than that, that's all I need. The remote control and this chair.
And this paddle ball. And this lamp. But I don't need anything else. Except for this. Anyway.
Well, I hope
Yeah.
that guy's eyesight's okay. I would love to ask him, just get more information about like what was he using, how often did he
Yeah.
take breaks. But yeah, I mean, I know some people whose job is to be in VR 100% of the time, and that I don't think I would do.
Yeah.
But as a tool, I mean, it's incredible.
Are you the only are you the main VR sculptor person at Gunner?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely brought the heat, just like, we got to do this.
Yeah.
But some other people have gotten in there.
Mhm.
My colleague Marcus is really good in there too. I think I do have a high threshold for just like, I'm good, I'm just going to stay in here for a while. Just like
Hey, we're
longer
going for
periods.
lunch. You want anything? Nah, I'm
I've
good.
got my
I'm good.
virtual
Oh.
food right here. See? Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, when I put my headset on, they
Oh,
joke
yeah.
that I'm going home.
You just load your house
That's
in
funny.
there, and you can watch Netflix in there, Hulu.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just
You're not my real friend.
I'm painting everybody, and you're like channel surfing inside VR.
Yeah.
I have been in there before. Oh, he
Ooh,
says 8 hours a day at
man.
least.
Yeah.
Oh, VR developer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's rough.
Gosh, could you imagine? Like, yeah, I don't know.
That's the kind of thing.
It's-
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, there's a chapter in my Skillshare course where they were just like, okay, tell us about VR and even a little bit about the history of it. But I have a chapter where I'm talking about how you have to take breaks because this is like, there's a face hugger attached to your head.
Yeah.
Like there's something on your
Yeah.
head. You have to take it seriously. But I mean, there's nobody that has all the answers yet.
Yeah.
So
it's
I've
like
been nervous.
we're all
to
guinea
pressure.
pigs right now.
Yeah, a little
know?
bit.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say I know 100% that like this is 100% perfect for
Mhm.
every single person. Like don't put kids in VR. We just don't know what it's doing to a developing brain. I don't know.
Yeah, like in
But
Yeah.
most
Donnie
of us seem
Darko.
okay.
remember there was
But
that thing
part
where
of
wasn't it Donnie Darko where they're like, this project you
Donnie-
could put this thing on a baby's head and it would give them good memories for wasn't
Was that Donnie
I thought it
Darko?
was-
I don't think that was
Sounds
Donnie
like a
Darko. I
Black
don't remember.
Mirror.
that
and
Donnie
then they're
Darko.
like, well, you don't know what effect
Yes.
that's going to have on the baby and all of that. I thought that was Donnie Darko. Maybe somebody in the chat knows what
I
I'm
don't think that was
talking
Donnie
about.
about.
Darko.
It was just in the
Yeah.
director's cut version. I don't
know.
know.
Yeah, it's weird times for that for sure.
So yeah,
But
what about going from freelance to working a jobby job, as Merlin Mann puts it, a jobby job?
yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, so I think I joked that I was one of the first like mega fans to be hired. I was one of the first Gunner fans. Like it was
That's
just
funny.
when I think John and Rachel joined before me. It was still kind of becoming a thing, and so I was super stoked. I feel like it was like a dream job, and I reached out to
Mhm.
them. I had met them at some Mograph Mondays. I reached out just to say like, can I bring in my VR setup and come hang out one day? This is like summer 2017, I think. And yeah, we had fun, and I was actually taking courses online at SCAD, the Savannah College of Art and Design,
Mhm.
because I'd been in education a lot. I think it was kind of like the womb for me. It was just like a warm, safe place where,
Right.
you kind of know what's going on, you know
Right.
what's coming. So I actually started like a second master's in motion media at SCAD, but remotely from Michigan.
Cool.
And I think you have to go on ground. You have to be there, I think, to get the full experience from that program, because half of the
Mhm.
professors didn't want to teach online, and the professors that I did work with were wonderful, but it wasn't the full experience. And
Yeah.
so I actually ended up going in for a day at Gunner, and I just had this idea on the way home, just like, what if I just reached out to them and see instead of me trying to chase, there's something more for this online class. I was like, I think what I want is there at Gunner. So I just said like, will you have me? Just for like a little trial, or can I just come hang out? And kind of was like a freelance trial thing. I did not expect them to hire me, actually. I honestly thought it was going to be over like after the 3 months, but it was just a great fit.
Mm-hmm. That's good. It also goes to show that like it's one of those things where you put yourself out there, and you may not expect the outcome that you want, or that you may not expect to get that, and sure enough, you were willing to put yourself out there, and it ended up positive
absolutely.
for you.
And I think part of why I ended up asking Ian, why'd you hire me? Because I was giving a talk for some students, and they had asked questions ahead of time, and that was one of them. And he said I had approached problems differently. So I guess probably just from like,
that's cool,
just jumping around with a bunch of media. But he even pointed to, I think there's one Instagram post it was like a painting of my dog from his jowl from underneath. It's old. It's from 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And he just was like, I really liked that. Like, sometimes it's just like one little post that you put up. He was like, I don't know how you made that, and I think it's interesting. So I was happy that I had done my own thing, followed my gut, put up something that was just because.
Yeah. And it goes like that goes to show that leads a lot into like the idea of diversity within this industry. He hired you specifically because you approach things from a different perspective, and it's something that Bhakti Patel talked about when we had her on the show, as far as like hiring a diverse group of people, because it's not going to be just one big echo chamber, of the same ideas and stuff like that, but actually being
thanks.
Beautiful. But like being able to bring in different people with different backgrounds and like, different experiences and different ways of working, will produce such a very unique and very different, result.
It was the very thing that I thought would exclude me from working in motion design. It's just that I wasn't like a super experienced motion designer, but I could bring in some weird paintings and taught myself cell on like the first piece I did with Gunner. So hopefully. Oh, thanks.
This is cool.
This is Quill.
And that's cool. Do you have a chat going on inside of Quill?
Oh, no, that's actually just like this big sheet of instructions that's there when you open it.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been talking about that, like being able to chat with the outside world while you're doing stuff,
I think there's a way that people do it. I haven't looked into it though. I'm not totally sure.
Yeah. I've seen a couple. I like this one right here. Is this Quill as well?
Thank you. That is Tilt Brush.
Tilt Brush. So what's really cool about this software, this is the one, if anybody is listening and want to check out your Instagram, this is the one with the hand and the is it a moth inside? A moth inside. And there's something really cool, especially in some of the demo scenes that come, I think, with Quill. These scenes where you can just keep zooming in and zooming in. When you're in VR, you grab and you stretch, and it just, the world gets bigger and bigger around you. But some of them are these just infinite worlds where you just keep going and going, and there's more and more and more inside. And that's kind of what that felt like to me, seeing this is like, going zooming in on it like that. It's interesting to feel when you go in and you start on the outside, and then you build something, and then you hit my microphone, and then you blow it up, and then you go inside, and you're looking as like an ant's perspective on what you created. That's interesting.
I'm glad that came across, because that's what I wanted to do. That now, like when you're in VR, all of a sudden scale is this extra dimension that it just isn't usually.
Right.
and you have to take the time to really render everything that's in there too. But yeah, it's kind of it's fun to be able to do that.
The use of color and everything, like your color palettes are like, do you come up with those ahead of time?
Yes.
And like, because
Thank you.
they're gorgeous. They are. I mean, like with all this, you can see the fine art background that
thank
you
you.
have. You know?
Yeah, that's actually huge that you really want to know what you're doing before you go into VR, or else like not only is there a blank page when you're sitting at the computer, then in VR you're inside of the blank page.
Yeah.
And it's just overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like every dimension, it's just like that's murals in my house.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about earlier, the painting. I think this is where you have the arch, right?
So what like going back to the one with the moth, what would be the process for that? Would you start off with a palette and be like, I kind of want to work around this palette, you know, or would you just jump in and say, okay, I have a general idea, or would you sketch things out first?
Yeah, great question. I do as full of a painting as possible before I go into VR. Yeah.
Okay. What are you using for that? Photoshop. Procreate?
Yeah. Yep. Just good old Photoshop. And yeah, really just kind of however you would normally develop an illustration. I do actually usually start with a color palette in mind. And then, you can just bring in your little floating painting into VR and color pick from it, which is really neat. If you go back, so there's the green background. That's the dog that Ian was talking about. The sort of teal.
Down
the green.
Down a little more.
Down.
Yeah.
Oh,
to the left.
There you go.
This dog. I think he just was like, that's interesting. Come on in.
That's awesome. I mean, even like the jiggle. I love that.
That's just Photoshop and then After Effects and Puppet tool.
Oh wow! I thought it was VR.
He asked me if it was, and I was like, "Oh no, it's not."
I love this one here with the dog with the cone.
Oh, thank you. My dog impaled himself and almost died in my arms.
No
It was very
way.
dramatic.
On what?
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
On a stick in the backyard. He was barking at a squirrel.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So trying to make art from life. He's fine now.
Well, that's good. Rusty the pup here says, "Is that me?" It just.
Oh, it looks like him. Yeah, I feel like I actually just don't think of myself as a strong illustrator. I can see like painting and paint brushes and treatment and everything is more of like what I had experience with. I actually had a point in my 20s where I thought I'd be like a fine art oil portrait painter. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But in that case, the design is kind of already there, just in the person's face. It took me a lot longer. I'm still working on getting stronger and just like creating my own compositions and color choice and everything.
Have you done any? Have you done like any sculpting, like ZBrush, C4D, any of that?
Yes. Yeah.
I'd be interested to see how you approach that. You know, especially how it translates, especially coming from a VR background and stuff like that.
I think the most I ever felt like a sculptor was probably just in Medium. I've done a couple character tests and stuff in there, and that's been really fun. Yeah, I sculpted. There's like a hand piece that I did recently with like a flower in the hand and kind of. Yeah, so
I saw that. Yeah.
I wrote down the questions of what's your favorite plugin and and all that stuff. And my favorite plugin is actually Quad Remesher, which makes the mesh a lot nicer coming in from VR.
Which is going to be it is built in now to the new version of Cinema.
Really?
Yeah. I haven't tried it yet.
That the one with the hand and the flower, that was the one you said is on your birthday?
Yeah.
See, that's great. See, I can't even tell that was VR. See, I thought that one was specifically Cinema. I didn't know. That's so great. It's so neat that you have such a. It's like it's so different. You know, like all of these pieces. Some of them are done in different programs, and you can see just like a difference in them. They're so different in the way that they look. You know.
Yeah. Thank you. I mean, I I don't know if it's a short attention span or what, or I actually lost the high school art challenge. Like it was like, because my mediums were too different. I'm not still bitter about it, but I was like the art in high school. I did like all of the drawing of the t-shirts for the lock-in and just like the artist. I don't know. I was just like the artist for stuff like that. But I lost because my mediums were too all over the place. And I didn't have like one cohesive style. And somebody else who had a great style and all of her paintings were cohesive. She won. And I just remember being like, cohesive. I got to get cohesive. And I don't know if I have yet. It's not necessarily my way.
It's like being a 3D generalist, right? You're a fine art generalist.
Yeah. Yeah. I still wonder sometimes, like, should I be doing more with music? I'm just like, no, I have too many mediums going on already. I need to just let the professionals do.
You are definitely a motion designer.
So do you have, I mean, of course, as much as you can say, do you have anything coming up that you're working on right now that you can talk about?
Yeah. So this short film, it's going to be called Sync, SYNC. And it's actually from a true story that happened to me on an airplane.
Oh, cool.
And it's kind of just about like people being really disconnected and there's no language through the short. I'm trying to decide how much to say or not say right now. But it's no big deal. I mean, I might as well just and three people who are sitting together and they're kind of annoyed with each other and disconnected, and they're served drinks, and then some turbulence hit, and all of a sudden they are not as I don't know. I can't decide whether or not.
You don't have to say
right.
Well, you don't want.
It's kind of enacted. Yeah, it's not a spoken project. So Rachel, who left Gunner, she and I, it was kind of our baby for a while. She's now freelancing, but she's still coming back to work on it. And now we have Handel Eugene working on it.
Nice.
We hired Handel.
Nice.
And he's just bringing all these amazing approaches himself to it. The challenge is we're trying to make it look like a moving painting, but it's 3D. We're using 3D. We have these beautiful rigged characters. We've been kind of stuck on the look development phase for a while, but I think we're figuring it out, and we're very excited about it.
Because it's hard to make 3D things that are painted look like they're not 3D. And in anything that's, even when it comes to Sketch and Tune or things like that, have you ever seen on Family Guy? Sometimes on Family Guy, they'll do stuff it's their style, but you can tell it's obviously done in 3D. You know, like they rotate around a car or a house or something, and you're like, whoa, that's like not flat anymore. That's definitely not messy enough to be hand drawn or something.
Right. And it makes you feel weird, kind of, right? Like when you expect something.
Have you seen or seen the preview for Loving Vincent?
Yes.
It's yeah. So you're talking about moving paintings and stuff like that, and I remember seeing this trailer a few years ago. Dave, it's lovingvincent.com.
Oh.
But it's all about Vincent van Gogh's life, and they do a lot of these. It's almost like what's the movie where they Waking Life. It's a bit like Waking Life, and they use his paintings and stuff like that.
I think for that one they had different people paint every frame, right?
I think so. Yeah.
That's really special. I think this one isn't going to quite have the jitteriness.
Right.
That's so lovely.
Yeah.
And so Waking Life.
Yeah. And Waking Life Waking Life was great for the style, but not just the style, also the content of it as well. Or Scanner Darkly. Yeah. As BJ says here. Yeah. It's something like so eye-opening. I just remember like the big takeaway that I took was because it was, what was it, like scientists or philosophers just kind of like speaking,
Mm-hmm.
and it was
Yeah.
like,
And then with this
Yeah.
narrative woven through.
yeah, and it introduced me to lucid dreaming as well, which was like, oh sweet, what's this lucid dreaming thing?
Yeah. Have you been able to do it?
I have tried a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard.
Yeah.
Same.
My friend and I back in the day, we tried to make these lucid dreaming glasses to try and make it work, where we put these little, we got like some
Glasses?
frames and we put some LEDs in them that would blink, so that when you're asleep and you start seeing the blinking,
Mhm.
it would trigger you. And
Did it work?
it didn't work, but I
Mhm.
I don't know. I didn't mess around with it enough. And the thing is, the big part about lucid dreaming is you don't have to, but it's better if you have something like that starts once you're in REM. You don't want it going the whole time you're asleep. You want it to start. That's why a lot of people who experiment with it or have other people who have something hooked up, they can tell that they're lucid dreaming and they can start, like REM tracking.
Oh, that's so cool.
But it also introduced me to that concept of like, I loved just thinking about some of these topics people were talking about, like the playing out of molecules and atoms in the universe, and how it's all basically predetermined because it all follows the laws of physics. Like what I'm saying right now, what I'm doing,
Watch
it's
devs.
all
Watch devs.
everything that I do, that I say, that I think is all happening because atoms and things are doing certain things that they are doing based on complete physics, the playing out of the particles of the universe. It was
That
very
is
good
the
film.
entire. That's the entire like story of devs.
Really?
Yeah,
All right, I'll have to check it out. What's that on?
it's on Hulu. It was FX original, but they put it on Hulu. It's okay.
That's trippy.
Yeah.
I feel like this is
It makes me want to do something random.
yeah, but see, even the random thing is still predetermined by the laws of physics. And it's that question of like, okay, well, is that true, or down on the
Yeah, like how
molecular
much
level,
free will do you actually have?
or does quantum physics change that because it is random at times, but then again, maybe
Yep.
that plays into whole multi-dimensional.
You're talking about devs. That's straight up devs.
Oh man,
That's the
okay.
whole story.
All right, I'm gonna check it out.
Right, yeah, that's a good thought. Like with the multi-dimensions, I thought those were supposed to come from choice.
Right.
Technically,
Complete change in, the universe. Like,
you should check out Veritasium's YouTube channel because he has a whole thing about this.
Veritasium.
I love Veritasium. It's very good. He's very great. Every episode is awesome, except you can't take more than a couple episodes at once because you get fatigued from all of it.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good segue into our Mograph recommends. However, I have some links.
Yeah. Let's do some Dave's links.
And so let's do some links, and then we'll circle around back to that because I think it's going to be a good Mograph recommends segment. The links I have today, number one is Matt Workman. First of all, he's such a badass, and he's doing all this virtual production stuff, and he's posting all of experiments. He was playing with a new slider that works with Unreal and virtual production, and he posted this video on YouTube where he's playing an electronic drum set.
No, the cymbals are electronic, but the drum set itself,
yes.
the drums are.
Yes.
I was paying attention because I'm buying an electronic drum set for Christmas. For myself.
Right.
For Christmas.
But it is very entertaining to watch because he's actually a really good drummer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this guy does everything.
If anyone knows him personally, we want to get him on the show. So
yeah. Well, I saw something he posted where he was talking to Andy Blondin about something. And we've been talking to Andy about being on the show for one, but also I think maybe that'll be a good segue.
Yeah.
Maybe behind the scenes and be like, Andy, Andy, put in a good word for us. Get him on the show. But check that out. He's awesome. He's drumming in Minecraft, by the way.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to mention Max to C4D.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good plugin. I'm sure plenty of people have heard about it before.
Mm-hmm.
I did not have personally a good experience with it, but that's kind of my own fault. I was trying to convert something.
You have to own both 3ds Max and C4D in order for it to work.
And I wanted to bring this up. The problem is, I thought about that when I was having a problem. Autodesk website is so messed up, and half the links you try and search for stuff online on Google, and it 404s. And I tried to install the software, and it errored out on me, and I couldn't get it because you can get a trial version just to convert a file, right? And I couldn't even get that to work. And I know at some point we had a copy, or you have a copy of or something,
Max to
but it was
C4D.
late. Of Max, and we were like, it was late at night, and I didn't want to bug you, and I'm like, I'm just gonna download this. I ended up going down this like two hour rat hole of not solving my issue because I was going way too fast, and I bought a cauldron. And nowadays on Turbo Squid, I'm just always assuming that there's going to be a format that's going to work somehow. And I bought it, and there was like 2 different Max V-Ray versions, and an Unreal version, and a Unity version. But there was no FBX, no OBJ, no.
You can just take it into Unreal and
3DS.
export it out.
No, it was just too much trouble. It was so much trouble. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna get this software. And the first thing that I thought was, wait, do I have to own 3D Max for this to work? And I searched all through their website for something in the FAQ that answered that question. Mm-hmm. And the only thing that I could find on there was, this is for people who have 3D Max and or Cinema 4D.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not the case. You do have to own them both, and I did not see that on
or
there. And they were very
totally messes you up.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I thought, well, maybe this isn't for me. But I will say that it is very handy if you do have both of them, and that they were very good with customer support. But if they ended up, I uninstalled it. They gave me my money back because I made that mistake.
You should have let me know. We actually have a copy of it.
Oh. See, this is what happens when it's, the middle of the night and I'm working and I'm, But check that out if you need something. Yeah,
I've used it before. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Like, it's basically a one-click solution. So you've got 3ds Max open, you click the Max to C4D, and then you open up Cinema 4D, and you hit import, and then it brings it all in. Yeah. It was pretty cool.
But it also brings in everything from the render engine of choice as well. That's the big deal with it. Yeah. Also, I wanted to mention Luis Miranda's Five Nights at Freddy's renders that he's been doing. Mm-hmm. Or FNAF, as the kids call it. My daughter is on the biggest Five Nights at Freddy's kick, and she can't even get.
I don't even know what this is.
It's like a jump scare game.
Why did anyone play that?
But I don't know.
To be scared.
Yeah. I'm like, you don't even like scary stuff. I was telling her, I was like, you don't like scary stuff. You tried to play BioShock, and it was freaking you out, and like. She's like, yeah, but you play, some of these aren't as good or aren't as bad, and there's, I guess, a version on what is it called, on Roblox? Somebody made their own off-brand version of it that her and her friends have been playing, and then I'm like, there's a VR version of this. She's like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that. These are jump scares in VR, and so I was looking at Luis Miranda's account. He's been doing like fan art of Five Nights at Freddy's, and my daughter's like, oh, well, he needs to do this character. I mean, she's all over it. So that's that character, and this is why this character is just like this character, except the only difference is this one has wear and tear, and I'm like, okay. But he's been doing some great art with this, and he's got some other ones he said are coming soon. He said saving the best for last.
Ooh.
So Foxy. I think Foxy's the one. He said saving the best for last.
I don't know anything about the game. I don't know anything about the game.
I haven't played it, and I contemplated downloading it, but my whole thought is like, okay, I'm going to spend $39.95. I'm not going to be very into it. I'm going to try it once.
Yeah.
My daughter's going to put it on and be scared and take it off. I'm not going to waste my $39.95.
Yeah, then you got to deal with the nightmares that come with it. You know, kid coming in your bed, you know, and you're just like, no, not going to happen.
I don't think it would get that bad because she does do it on the phone, but I just don't. I mean, having a jump scare in VR as opposed to on a screen, totally different.
So scary.
Yeah. Have you played any?
Apparently you're...
What's that?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I was told that your brain actually is using different parts of itself when you're in VR versus anything else. And you remember experiences differently.
I could see that.
Have you, do you play a lot of just games in VR?
I don't really. I love video games. I sort of forget about them. I know that's like really weird.
No, not at all.
But it's funny, I grew up and my brother plays every video game, knows everything. And now I'm kind of in this world, gaming adjacent world, I'm trying to learn. A couple times, I mean, my coworkers love to play, it's a robot game.
Robo Recall?
Robo Recall.
Yes, Robo Recall. Yeah. I tried it once and a robot jumped off a building at me and I just screamed.
Yeah.
It just was a bad experience.
Yeah. Right at the beginning of the game when you start the game and all the robots like look at you and then jump scare at you. Yeah.
Truly horrible. Yeah. I have a lot of anxiety already, so I was just like, I don't need this. I downloaded a Tai Chi game where you're just up on a mountain.
Oh, that's fun.
You can do Tai Chi.
You know, that's funny because I was actually, it's very similar. I was looking for a yoga VR game. There are no yoga VR games out. And I'm like, well, why not? I mean, I know it'd be a little awkward, but I feel like that would be fun.
Maybe for the headset falling off, that would be fun.
Yeah, I could see that.
Huh.
Yeah. But
I know I've seen sort of like anxiety reduction programs and then Tai Chi. Yeah, I haven't really seen that much yoga.
What's the Tai Chi one called?
I think it's called like 5-minute Tai Chi or something.
Oh, okay. I'll Google it.
Yeah. Tai Chi is in the name.
But Half-Life Alyx has one of those jump scares pretty close to the beginning as well. When someone's just in your face and it's like, but that's one I would recommend. If you're going to try any game, but put it on put it on the, what is it called? It's, you know how you have the different difficulty modes?
Yeah.
There's one that's more of just like, it's below easy.
Is it like
it's like this casual and
below easy?
Yeah, I switched it to that.
I need that.
I play games. I always play them on the easiest setting because I don't care about difficulty. I just want to enjoy the story.
That's the thing. Yeah, and this
I heard Alyx is beautiful.
Exactly. That it's beautiful, and so for me, I don't have a lot of time. I want to try it out. I want to get through it and check out all the stuff and things in there, and I don't want to spend 2 hours trying to get past a level. Like, I just want to go through and enjoy it, and they give you that option. You know, so it's a nice way if you really don't want that full on gaming aspect, then you have the option to do it later or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful.
Maybe I could try that. I wish that you could play video games without having to fight anybody.
Yeah.
I don't know that exists.
It's called a movie, right?
Right. You know,
like challenges.
Yeah. Super Hot VR is really fun. I mean, technically you're fighting people because you're, trying to kill them and stuff like that as they're running towards you.
But it's a little different. It's not a shooter.
Oh, no, I can.
It's not,
I mean,
but they're not really running toward you.
Yeah, you just can't get shot or hit or anything like that. Otherwise, you have to start the level over.
Okay.
And
but they're on pause. Everybody is frozen, and they only move.
Time only moves whenever you move.
Yeah.
So like you can look around and everything's fine and figure out your game plan for killing everyone, which is fun.
Yeah, there's bullet time basically. The bullet's coming slowly toward you, and you just kind of slowly move out of the way, like the Matrix.
Yeah.
That's clever.
It's a fun game.
That's in VR, you said?
What's that?
What was it called?
Super Hot VR.
Yeah.
Super Hot.
Super Hot.
There was one, in order to get past one of the levels in Super Hot, you were supposed to look down over this ledge,
And jump.
And when I was playing this level, I had not been in VR for probably a month. And so I forgot how immersive it was. And I looked down and you basically jump off. And I screamed so loud because I forgot how immersive it is. Like you
so
get in there and
scary.
you forget the world exists.
Have you ever
Yeah.
fallen in VR, like not in fallen plain VR, but your character is falling
Yeah.
in VR? It is a weird feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, the plank experience. I fell off of that once. Richie's plank experience.
That's
You
funny.
walk the plank.
And got to get the cat or something like that.
I don't remember a cat. It's been a while though.
I thought it was like planking. Like
No.
No, you actually get in an elevator, go to like the
Yeah.
top of a skyscraper, and open the elevator, and it's just outside,
Yeah.
and you have to walk out on a little plank.
Yeah.
That's the only time I really felt sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can also fly. You can put on a jetpack,
Uh-huh.
and it sort of draws a path in the sky, and you're just like flying around,
Yeah.
and that made me feel really sick.
Yeah.
I took my Oculus to visit some family one time, and my aunt, she's very afraid of heights, and I did not tell her that there was something like that coming up. And so she puts on the headset, and I'm just going through like the normal thing where, oh, you see the little alien guy, you see the little
Yeah.
fox, and it's the Oculus Dream Deck or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, just take a step forward. And like it goes on, and she freaked out, like tons of swearing, very worried. It was very funny.
She felt
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
it. It must be really trippy,
Yeah.
especially if you didn't grow up with anything like this.
Mhm.
I mean, it's interesting. It's hitting us. I guess I'm assuming from our earlier conversation, you guys are about my age.
Yeah.
But so we were fully adults, like when we started getting into
Yeah.
this stuff. But
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see. I mean, people who there's totally teenagers and kids in it.
Yeah.
How their brain reads stuff. I don't know. My mom genuinely thinks that her brain doesn't process websites and like digital space the way mine
Uh-huh.
does.
I could.
She's like, I just never
Yeah.
had it.
I mean,
Hmm.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two
Anyway.
other links I had. Number one was Gavin Shapiro.
Yeah.
The flamingo stuff he's been
Oh,
doing, but
man.
now he's doing these
Zoetropes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's next level.
Dude, so cool. Like, and he's selling them like actual Zoetropes. Like you can buy this big, it's $750.
Yeah, it's expensive. It's on
But it's huge from what I was reading. It's like 6 feet, 6 feet wide or something like that.
yeah.
Wow.
I could be wrong about that. Don't quote me on it. But I'm pretty sure it's like a very big thing, And but I mean, think about it. Like I looked at it and it was like $750. I was like, wow, that's really expensive. I was expecting something like 1 foot by 1 foot, And then but with it being so big, it's like, oh, this would be cool. Like you buy this and then you rent it out to different like, art installations and stuff like that. Make your money back real. Isn't that so cool? It's so cool.
That's so cool.
The first time I ever saw a Zoetrope was at the Blue Man Group. I saw the Blue Man Group in Vegas, and they at one point in their show they had a little Zoetrope on each side of the stage, and it blew my mind. I was like, "Holy cow! This is animation, like 3D animation in real life," And then they had another really big one in Disney World. It was all the Toy Story characters. I think it's so cool.
Oh, wow.
So
cool.
is this
That is-
real? So this is
Yeah,
real then.
this
This
is
is not
real.
a render. Because
Yeah.
you can see
62 by 121 by 103 inches. That's freaking huge.
Yeah.
That is big.
Oh man. If I had unlimited money.
Isn't that funny? You can't tell sometimes if it's a real object.
Right?
Yeah.
Even though he's listing that it's glass and plastic
Yeah.
and stuff, I'm like, but it's real though?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he
I
did
was-
a variation on this. Now this
Yeah.
is
Like
rendered.
this is a 3D one. Yeah.
but
Oh, this is a render?
Yeah. This is a render.
But it says bronze and cement. I thought this was real.
No way. There's no way.
I think
because he was also selling. Oh no, you're right. Then it says C40 octane.
Yeah, I think maybe you can actually buy the piece of art. You can buy this thing as a real thing, but now I don't know. I'm also trying to figure out if the world itself, if this is like an actual drone shot. I don't think it is. I think it's
I don't think
completely
it is.
digital.
I think it's all 3D. Yeah.
Really? Okay, I'm going to go against the grain and vote that it's real. 2 against 1.
All right.
I think where you can kind of, you can kind of see
that fake grass.
The grass, but also when it's going really fast, something about the cement looks like all the textures are the same. Or something.
I mean,
I
don't know.
Good eye.
I was telling him that he needed to buy those, those little things that you press the button and it causes the thing to become like all limp.
To get limp.
It's like this. Yeah.
He did that.
Yeah.
Well, that's an actual like sculpture. I don't know if that one is if like you can press the button or whether that one's like an actual thing. But like, yeah, I even sent him I Googled it. And I was like, hey, I was looking up the little toys. I don't know what they're called. And I was like, here you go. Just buy a bunch of these.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so cute.
He used to have the little guy and you would hold it and they would sell it at gift shops.
Just
after you go to the museum. Yeah.
He's so inventive.
Yeah. So good. He is the king of loops for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
King of flamingos.
Ever since his SIGGRAPH talk, just the amount of like perfect loop animations that I've seen, has like exploded. It's cool.
And the last link that I have is this is something David Ariev posted, and this is very interesting. It's using NVIDIA AI to change the bandwidth of like a Zoom call or video call by using AI. So in a way, it's deep faking yourself. So it's taking your audio and using AI and using your video from a webcam to basically fake what you're doing on screen. So in turn, because you're not actually broadcasting all that video across the internet, the bandwidth becomes practically nothing. So you can have these high quality, super high quality video calls because it's just using AI to fake your mouth moving and fake. Even what they show is like you could do different angles. Like right now, I'm kind of looking to the side, but you could change the angle to where the person is looking straight. Because it's
that's crazy.
It's like deep faking your own webcam, and it's
weird,
a little scary, I think. But
useful yet scary.
It seems like it would be very like resource intensive to do that live.
Maybe
I don't know,
but even if it is, it's like it still saves you bandwidth. So yeah. So check that out in there. But let's go to Mograph recommends because this will be fun.
Yeah. Can I run to the restroom real quick?
I wish you would.
I'm sorry.
Hi, my name is Sashia Dumont. I'm a writer, actor, and filmmaker.
Hi, my name is Paul Robinson. I'm a director, DP, and filmmaker. We are the creators and hosts of the Go Gorilla Filmcast, an online source for all things indie film.
We are a husband and wife film team and co-owners of Sen3 Productions, and we started this podcast for filmmakers like ourselves who were producing on micro budgets with skeleton crews.
Go Gorilla is a weekly podcast that features various talents in TV, film, and web series productions.
We've interviewed filmmaker powerhouses like Kestrin Pantera,
Richard Raymond,
Alex Ferrari,
Cassandra Ebner,
and Ryan Connolly. Amazing actors like Hannah Ward,
Lou Taylor Pucci,
Chris Wataski,
and Eileen Gruba.
Groundbreaking cinematographers like Jody Lee Lipes,
and Jessica Lee Gagné, and many more.
We also offer weekly reviews of our favorite films and shows, which vary from low-budget first-time filmmakers to A-listers and everyone in between. Go Gorilla is proud to announce that we have officially joined the Mograph Podcast Network.
So if you love filmmaking as much as we do,
tune in every Sunday for a new episode of the Go Gorilla Filmcast, your source for all things indie film. Now available on the Mograph Podcast Network.
All right, cool. Be right back.
So we'll start with your favorite movie, and I
Okay.
always say this, but you can say a movie that is your all-time favorite or something that's your current favorite. So, or both.
Okay. I went all time on the
Okay.
movie. All time favorite. And by the way, my answers aren't necessarily like the hip latest.
Hey, they're
So-
supposed to be yours, so that's all that matters,
Okay.
right?
They're genuine.
Yeah.
Okay. The movie is The Labyrinth.
Okay.
1984, David
Mhm.
Bowie, Jim Henson.
Yeah.
I watched it every week growing up.
Really?
I know all the songs by heart. Absolutely in love with it.
Maybe saw that one time. I'm really
Really?
bad. Somebody
Yeah.
commented on one of our videos or Instagram or something the other day about when Clint was on the show. They said he's always the funniest one because on Corridor Digital he's never watched the movies that they're talking about. He just doesn't watch movies, and I'm the same way. I don't. There are so many movies. Like I don't know that I've ever seen Terminator all the way through. I've never watched The
Oh.
Godfather. Like that's. I don't know why.
Same. Yeah.
So
There's so many. It's so overwhelming.
yeah,
Dance match.
but it's like
Yeah, Logan.
Labyrinth. It's like I vaguely remember that, but I don't know if I've really watched it all the way through. What's the movie? Dune.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I kind of vaguely remember, but I don't know.
It's tough too when they start to get such a sort of like, I don't know, all these expectations around it. Excuse me, like this will change your life.
Mhm.
You know, that makes you kind of not want to watch something.
Yeah, because you feel like maybe it's overhyped now.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe Matt's
I don't
seen
know,
it.
Matt.
What have I seen?
Have you seen The Labyrinth?
I have. I've seen like parts of it. You know,
Yeah.
I saw.
Maybe it's a love or a hate.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get into it. I did see this this TikTok the other day where basically it was like a girl rewatching Labyrinth as a much older person, and then just like David Bowie, you know, and it's like, ooh.
I know. Yeah. He's got a lot of presence in that movie.
Presence. There is.
Yeah, I just loved
Yeah.
it. It just came to mind as my favorite. I love the music
Mhm.
and it's so surreal. It makes you question reality. It just the world building side of it.
Yeah.
And ultimately the message that somebody doesn't have power over you
Yep.
unless you let
Mhm.
them.
Right.
That's the message at the end.
And how often do you watch it now?
Maybe. Oh, like once
Yeah.
a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just for nostalgia's
Yeah.
sake.
Did you were you into any of the like other Jim Henson Creature Shop movies
Yeah.
like The Dark,
Dark
Crystal
Crystal.
or anything like that? Like
Weirdly, no, I never saw it.
Mhm.
So, and I think I started to watch it recently and I was just like, you're not the Labyrinth. Like, I was just so attached. I need to give it more of a try.
And my
That's
brother and I,
funny.
as kids, used to always go around imitating that one character from Dark Crystal, going, You know what I'm talking about?
I've never seen The Dark
You
Crystal.
haven't?
Don't, I actually never saw
No.
it.
See, somebody will get that.
Weirdly,
All two of you.
somebody will. Yeah, it sticks in your memory, especially when it comes from a puppet.
Yeah.
Sorry,
A
Muppet.
Muppet. Blasphemy.
This is
Yeah.
the 80s.
Yeah.
It's before CGI.
Right.
It's really.
Yeah, the next one on the list is music, your favorite music.
I'm sort of not with it with like music and stuff. My coworkers sort of keep me up to date with music, but so I still listen to really ambient kind of whimsical stuff like Colleen. I don't know if you know Colleen.
Mm-mm.
Just really beautiful kind of samples and all these interesting like bells and Emancipator. Kind of like it's like kind of like Sigur Rós kind
Nice.
of music.
Yeah.
Always a sucker for Sufjan Stevens.
Do you like,
Mhm.
what's his name then?
But-
Is it Andrew Bird? Is that his name?
Oh yeah, I love Andrew Bird.
Where did I see that lately?
Is it Sufjan? Is that how you pronounce it?
Sufjan.
I've always called it
Yeah.
Sufjan Stevens.
Sufjan?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I know where I saw
The,
Andrew Bird.
the Chicago album is so good. It's
Yes.
such a good album. And then
It's
all of his
beautiful.
Christmas stuff, like, it's not the Christmas season without Sufjan Stevens.
I know. Yeah, he's famous for a reason. He's really talented.
Didn't he do like a Radiohead? Is he the one who did a Radiohead album? Or am I thinking of somebody else? Might
No
be
idea.
somebody else.
I don't know.
I know where I saw Andrew Bird, though, was on a post from Caitlin because she actually got married. So,
Yeah,
Congrats.
congratulations, Caitlin. Yeah.
yeah.
Don't know her.
Caitlin Kaju.
Oh, congratulations. Did she have Andrew Bird play at her wedding?
Well,
or something?
technically, because it was like a virtual
Yeah.
wedding.
Oh.
And so then I think they watched a concert or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, where did I see that lately? I actually saw him perform live in Austin for Austin City Limits. I sat in the production room and watched them switch him live. It was great.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's very cool.
Anybody else?
Yeah, he's amazing. I really love movie soundtracks too.
Mhm.
I'll listen to like John Williams, just like from beginning to end, the whole soundtrack.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, just kind of like classical. So yeah, I love that. Anything John Williams.
And Billy said that.
Billy said
Picks
also,
me
up.
yeah. Aaron Covert got married all over the weekend
Nice.
too. So congrats to him. Yeah.
Aw,
Everybody getting.
beautiful.
So many
wedding.
Mograph marriages.
Yeah. And our friend
Yay.
Stephen Matthew in our Halo group got
Oh
married.
yeah, I
Everybody's
forgot
getting
about that.
virtual married.
Right? It's a way to do it.
I'm glad that love is still
Yeah.
happening
Right?
in the pandemic.
Love in the time of COVID-19.
Yes, and the Trump
Yeah.
apocalypse.
That's Trump apocalypse. Yeah. Congrats.
Life must go on.
Mograph matrimony. That's what Julie Kraft said.
That's sweet.
Where were we on this list? Oh, TV shows.
TV shows. My favorite one lately is Fleabag.
I don't know
that
Fleabag.
one.
It's on Amazon Prime. I would say I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily just maybe geared towards women, but it's I think everyone should watch it. It's
What's it about?
beautiful. A woman in her 30s and her crazy family. They live in London. And she's both like, she's a very imperfect person, and it's just hilarious. I think it's based off of
a play.
A play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a comedy series
she'll kind of
adapted from an
turn-
award-winning play about a young woman trying to cope with life in London whilst coming to terms with a recent tragedy.
Yes. It's amazingly beautifully done. She also, like, you're a character when you watch it. She'll turn and look at you.
Oh, that's fun.
and you're kind of in
Breaking
on
the
it.
fourth wall.
So they break the fourth wall a
Yeah.
lot.
They
That's
do.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
The second season's even better than the first.
Cool.
Yeah.
Dave, my wife just finished Bones last
My
night.
wife.
So
Oh, what? Bones.
she just finished Bones. Dave likes to give me crap
That's so funny.
because she's just I can't remember what it was. Like we were playing Halo or something, and then I don't remember.
We were.
Just making fun
You
of
were.
me,
You were.
like saying,
You were talking about watching. Well, I could either. You were saying something about like I could either play.
I can either play Halo
watch
or go
Bones.
downstairs and watch Bones with my wife.
Yeah.
You know. And so then, like a few months later, and I totally forgot that comment. A few months later, he mentioned, "Why don't you just go watch Bones with your wife?" And I was like, "How did
No,
you
it
know
was-
she was watching
we
Bones?"
We were all playing Halo and you weren't there. And I said,
Yeah.
Matt, stop watching Bones and come and play Halo. And you were like, how did you know we were watching Bones? And I was like, because like, you had completely forgot about that comment. That was great.
Funny.
You guys are just connected.
Right.
I'm watching you. I installed Parsec on your computer and I opened up
Yeah, right.
your webcam and I
My
can see
webcam.
what you're watching on your network.
I did that one time when I was selling my house. Like I had someone who was like going through and touring the house, and so I turned on my computer and I turned on my webcam so I could watch them. It was fun.
How did it go?
They didn't buy it.
But did they do anything weird?
No,
in your
they
house?
just came into my office and they're like, okay. I was like, ah, all right.
I thought about that when buying a house, because we were actually out front of the house with the realtor talking about what we wanted to do, and I noticed that there was like a Ring doorbell, and I was like, hey, let's walk over here and talk, because they could possibly, because if we're talking about what you want to negotiate,
lowball them like crazy.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Any other?
True.
I'm gonna watch Fleabag. It sounds fun. It sounds fun.
It's really unusual, really cool.
Any other TV shows?
Really, the one that comes to mind that I was like, I've never been more spellbound in my life was probably just Breaking Bad.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know.
where's
So here I
Kevin?
am, like caught in 2008.
Yeah, where's
Where's
Kevin? I wonder if they have Indigenous Tribes Day off. That's today.
It's today. Yeah, we'll be watching it home. There's no excuse.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, I mean it's good for a reason.
Yeah.
Say it.
Yep. I've heard The Wire is also good, according to Kevin.
That's true. This is totally random. I'm noticing that your top matches Deadmau5's wallpaper in his living room. Yeah,
Mine?
from his
yeah.
course on masterclass.com. All of his videos are on this backdrop, and they look just like your. Oh, there's Kevin.
Oh, there he
is. So funny.
That's funny.
Oh, Logan hated Fleabag. Interesting.
What?
I mean, it's you're in this woman's head.
Maybe that's why.
And yeah, there's a lot of I don't know.
Let's see, Paul says, "Is it?" Yeah. No.
Give it a try. It's only 2 seasons.
Yeah. Does it end
it's a quick
after
binge.
season 2?
Oh, it's done.
Okay.
Yes, and I think it's totally over. There's not a ton of episodes in each season either, so
easy watch.
Depends on how much of a binger you are.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. What about podcasts? Do you listen to any?
Yes. I keep coming back to a podcast called Creative Pep Talk.
I haven't heard.
Are you familiar with it? It's this illustrator. His illustration name is Andy J. Pizza. I don't think he was born as Mr. Pizza, but that's
Mr. Pizza is my father's name.
Don't call me Mr. Pizza. And it's really great. It's very full of like actionable advice on sort of how to like mentally get your shit together and like be an artist and be active and keep things happening for yourself.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, he has a lot of energy and good thoughts and brings on guests that kind of talk about their journeys. And I always feel really motivated to make after listening to it.
That's cool.
Like a pep talk.
Yeah.
Hence the name.
That's cool. I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah. Really like that one. But otherwise I kind of fall into things like Radiolab or just kind of sciencey stuff. I just discovered Ologies.
Ologies?
Are you familiar with that one? OLOGIES. It's on Spotify. And I'm blanking on the woman's name, Allie something. She's an actress also, I think. She brings on different ologists.
Oh, I was going to guess McBeal, but
she's so fun, and she's such the perfect mix of funny but like focused and asks great questions. And so she brings on somebody who's a specialist in really different ologies.
That's super cool. That's
the
neat.
study of random things. Yeah. So it'll be like one day it's like trees, and the next day it's like hoarders, and just ancient tools.
That's really neat. Like,
it's nice and varied.
I like that. So I feel like I have a very wide knowledge of a whole bunch of useless crap, right? Because I spent a really long time working at a place where we would it was like a Kinko's of, if anyone knows what Kinko's is now, sorry, FedEx office
Yeah, I do.
of video, right? Anyone from the street could bring in their videos and we would edit them. So you'd have all walks of life coming in and like us editing their videos. So I learned a lot of useless crap. And I like the idea of being able to dive into someone's useless crap,
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I did construction videos.
This is going to deepen.
So I know what green cones mean.
right?
You know what a green cone means?
No, what
Wet
does a green
cement?
cone
No.
mean? Oh,
Don't ever drive into an area with green cones. You'll sink.
interesting. All right.
That's a good
Yeah.
life
I would
hack.
think that they could just put regular cones up and no one would drive on them
You
either.
think so?
Not in
Yeah.
America.
I do what I want. You can't tell me what to
I'm going
do.
through here.
That's funny.
Interesting. Yeah, I love that about motion design too, that you end up just like, all right, I guess I'm learning about the way that steel and aluminum work in
Right.
cars. Here we go.
I'm fine with that.
I feel like you're,
Every project's a deep
as
dive.
someone from Michigan, you're hitting from personal experience on that one.
Yeah. You are correct. There's a lot of auto industry before I joined Center.
Yeah. That's funny.
Now, what about? Sorry. Did you have more in the
Podcast, right?
Podcast, no, I think those are my
and
biggies.
you touched on this earlier on plugin.
Mhm.
What were we talking about
Yeah.
again? What was the plugin?
Well, the quad
yeah.
remesher, which
Yeah.
apparently now is, I don't know, useless or more useful. I don't know if it's folded into cinema.
I haven't tried it yet.
But yeah, like you were saying in your talk with Frederick
Oh yeah.
Duquette
Mhm.
about how gnarly the mesh is when it comes in from VR.
Mhm.
So that was a really helpful. Is it called the quad remesher in cinema still?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's an open source technology, so I think it's.
Yeah.
I think it's all. Yeah.
Sweet.
I haven't tried. I need
Yeah.
to. Just because I've been working on stuff, I have not updated my Octane and I have not updated my Cinema, and I have the new Cinema in there now, but I haven't loaded everything. It's the tough part.
We have one project that we have been on since
All year. Yeah.
March. Yeah, all year
Yeah.
basically. So I'm still on R21.
Yeah, same.
Like, I haven't updated anything. I
Same.
updated my After Effects the other day, and it was the biggest mistake I could have ever made because now
Don't do
they don't work well. Less so than they normally do.
Yeah, that's so stupid.
After
is the
Effects,
worst.
man. Oh,
Yeah. Well, the other plugin I love in After Effects. You might laugh because this is not recent, but I just learned about it recently. The BOA.
I
BOA?
don't know
BOA
about that.
plugin.
What's BOA?
BOA. My friend Taylor told me about it. She works at IV in Nashville. It's kind of like you can make something curve, so you could bend an image and make it animate kind of in a really easy way, kind of like a snake. I guess that's why it's called BOA.
Mhm.
But you can also animate something along a path, but then also easily push it back and forward in Z space.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I'm looking at it right now. Warp your layers along
Yeah.
mask path.
It's so easy and intuitive, and I love it.
Ooh, bend and twist.
Yeah,
It's like a
there's lots of
deformer.
little settings. So I was animating fish
Yeah.
with it,
Mm-hmm.
and just wanting them to kind of move quickly and then also a little closer and faster. And
Yeah.
it was just like,
Should do
Took
that
away
in
a lot of
Cinema
the
called
work.
the
Cool.
Snick deformer.
Snake. That's funny.
that'd be nice.
Snick.
Has to be
I
Snick.
love the word snick.
No step on snack.
On Snick. Snick only applies to non-poisonous
Those-
cube
yeah, those
snakes,
are
though, not venomous snakes.
Right.
Yeah, it has to be short. Like your path
Yeah.
can only be like this long because it's small.
And the tongue has to be sticking out, too.
Um,
Let's see.
Oh, the other plugin in After Effects is just ease copy.
He's
I didn't know about this until Gunnar. I don't know if it's widely known, but basically just copying the value or the ease between keyframes.
oh neat.
And copy and paste
Gosh,
it.
there are so many After
Yeah.
Effects plugins. Like, and I think that's the reason why After Effects just does After Effects suck because like they're just keeping it so simple so that they don't lose this entire world of
what's in it
plugins
for them
or something?
on that?
Or does After Effects just suck because like it just sucks? Like, why don't I have multi-threading? Why don't I have multi-threading? I don't know.
I think they're too comfortable. They're the king, and they don't have to do that much now.
It's a disaster.
I don't know, but like cinema, it does so much. Just like, hey, what do you guys want?
Yeah.
How do you want this to be different? How can it be better for you? Maybe Adobe is just too all spread out, just too many programs.
But there's a whole team on After Effects. And it's just like every time a new one comes out, it's like, oh, well, we fixed RAM preview this time, and then they didn't actually fix it.
Yeah. Then they didn't fix it.
And that's all we get. Like, what is new? What is new in the new version of After Effects? Somebody tell me.
I heard there's tapered strokes.
Tapered strokes, right. Which should have been a thing years ago. Years.
Who is asking for certain things now? Like, it's just like,
I mean, I've wanted tapered strokes forever, you know? Like, I normally do just, like, generate stroke, you know, along a path, you know? But it's like, oh, they can't be tapered. Okay. I'll just go to Cinema 4D for that, you know? Because that'll take me less time. Yeah. Whatever.
I don't understand it.
Whatevs. Now, and now to headphones.
Whatevs, man. Yeah, I don't know. I for these are just the cheapest ones for Sony that were at my Best Buy.
See, those are actually nice because that's the one on your left ear there. You can actually plug in to it, right? Yeah. So if you mess up the cable, you could get a new cable. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you know, I never even thought about that because, you know, I've got the Bose, but I rarely use them for the noise canceling, only when traveling. You know, and I like that it's got it plugged in, like I can plug it in. And I never even thought about that if I mess up the cable, I can still just go buy another one, you know?
Yeah,
that's convenient.
That is nice. Yeah. I also really like my new AirPods. I just got those. I held off for a long time.
Did you get the Pros or did you get the regular ones?
They're Pros. Yeah, with the noise canceling. Yeah, the only thing that's weird is like, when you have it set to not be noise canceling and to like amplify whatever the world is, if my hair touches it, it's like, like it's magnifying the sound in a way that it's not just like off or whatever.
Interesting.
If you have the Bose headset on and you're laying in bed and your head is on the pillow, you'll get almost this weird like chills, like fingernail on a chalkboard type thing, and it sounds like a chain link fence being rattled. It sounds like in the background, like somebody's got their hands on a chain link fence, like is it Terminator?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Terminator 2. See, I know the references, I just haven't seen the movies.
Yeah, you need to see Terminator 2.
Yeah, like when she's on doing the thing on the fence and the nuke and all that. No spoilers. I think it's been long enough.
You don't even know what what part of the movie it is. Like you don't.
Well, see, I'm the only one who would have spoilers.
Sorry,
I would. You know.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway,
I haven't seen it.
Y'all are missing out. That's classic storytelling right there. Terminator 2. Like you don't even need to see Terminator 1 to enjoy and appreciate Terminator 2.
Okay.
Like
I'll watch it.
It was years. Like literally, I saw Terminator 2 first. And then like 10 years later, I saw Terminator 1, which I enjoyed Terminator 1, but Terminator 2 is classic. It is better.
Kind of like Home Alone.
Are you saying Home Alone 2 is better?
I'm kidding.
I was going to say.
You know, it's got Donald Trump in it.
Right. Of
That's
course.
Why it's better.
Anything with him in it is gold. Now, if you'd said Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, I would have been totally on board. Yes.
You like Turtles 2 more than Turtles 1, huh?
I like Turtles. I enjoy a good like origin story, you know? So like The Secret of the Ooze, you know? I really wish they would have done Bebop and Rocksteady though instead of, you know,
Was that a licensing thing? Like, what was going on there?
What is it?
It's like,
I don't know.
You thought when you saw those things rattling around in the cages, you're like, that's going to be Bebop and Rocksteady.
You're like, yeah, Bebop and Rocksteady. No. They're babies.
Babies. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know this.
Oh, see, now you need... Yeah. All right, whatever. We should just do like once we're done with the Simpsons streaming. By the way, we're still doing the Simpsons streaming. Get on our Discord, or whatever. We'll let you know when we stream. Once we're done with that, we should do just like a day of just like classic movies. That'd be fun.
Or get in our Slack because there's a channel.
Do
you
it.
have a Halloween Simpsons channel?
I have a Treehouse of Horrors. Yeah. Channel. Yeah.
We got to catch everybody up on these classics.
Right?
I have a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Dave's got to spend like 2 days just watching the Godfather movies.
I don't know. Prepare myself for lots of loud trumpet, apparently.
Loud?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
There's a bit on the Family Guy, too. Let's see. Next on the list is your favorite app on your phone, your go-to app.
Oh, yeah. So is it okay if this is like a random one? My most life-changing app is You Need a Budget.
Oh,
YNAB.
Here's what I'm going to say about You Need a Budget. All right. I was looking for a great budgeting app because I wanted to get into budgeting, right? I wanted something better than Mint, cuz like Mint
or a spreadsheet.
Mint no.
Mint yells at you.
Yeah, well, it yells at you, which is okay. I want the yelling at you, right? But because like most of the stuff that we do is on a credit card, it takes 4 or 5 days before it yells at me to say that I've overspent. And by that time, it's like, no, I've way overspent, So it's like, oh, you need a budget. Okay, I'll try this. But then it's like, oh, I've got to pay a monthly amount for You Need a Budget.
But you don't have a budget.
It's so worth it. You make it back.
Yeah. You know what? That's what they say too. You'll make it back.
No, but I swear to God, it saved me thousands of dollars. Like, I can't even say enough good things about it. It's $90 a year.
Yeah.
So one time.
Okay.
And they'd say, okay, I've drank the Kool-Aid. Okay. They say that they're actually like financial teachers who created an app.
Okay.
So it's like the people were more about the psychology of just like getting your S together. I can't remember if I can.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
About getting it together, and then they made an app to help. And the thing that's better than Mint is that it only looks at what money is actually in your accounts. There's no like planning for the future. Well, you save in it, but it's just dealing with what's there.
Okay.
And I just love it. So if you want to spend on something, it makes you choose what you're going to take it from because everything's already assigned.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, well, I ran out of fun money. Where am I going to take it from if I want to get this extra whatever? Do you want to take it from your dog's surgery fund?
Right.
That's
or future planning,
Okay. That's kind of what I do just with like a spreadsheet. It's like, okay, where am I going to take? Oh, it's got to take it from my savings again.
I know. But I don't know. I can't say enough good things about it. It's taken away like 80% of my anxiety about money.
Let me ask you this. Like, and I don't know if you and your husband do this. Do y'all have do you like share a bank account and have one budget, or do you do it separately?
Yeah, we do.
See, because that's what me and my wife do as well. And is it easy to like see, okay, they're spending here, I'm spending here, here's what we've got left, blah, blah, blah? Yeah. I think like when expenditures come in, whoever sorts them, it's not like assigned to somebody. But we also divide up like Colin's fund money, Peter's fund money. We were also just curious sometimes, so it's separated, so you can kind of take it from separate accounts or separate little categories. I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
All right.
And you also see everything that comes in. So like I was so just kind of disorganized. I used to just be like, I didn't realize something was charging me every month.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which sounds really awful, but it just totally nips anything like that.
I used to be like that. I used to not realize how many subscriptions and all that kind of stuff I had. Budgeting has really, really helped. Except I still did overlook something.
It's amazing.
I logged into my parents. I logged into my Amazon Prime Video account at my parents' house at Christmas so we could watch something on my account. And they bought BritBox as a trial on it. And it's just a trial. Yeah. And even though they have Prime, but they didn't, and I had told them, you got to log out of my thing. And then they bought BritBox. And I was looking every month on my credit card. I'm like, why does sometimes my Prime only go on the credit card and sometimes it goes on the debit card? It doesn't make sense. And we had been buying movies, so I always assumed that was one of the movies we bought.
It was just a movie, yeah.
What is BritBox?
Oh,
it's like a subscription package to all these British dramas and TV shows, like like British mysteries that are all in like PAL conversions and stuff. and like a whole year went by. I was paying $9.95 a month for BritBox, and I finally figured it out. And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I'm like, Mom and Dad, you owe me $80.
That's funny.
No. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
What if I'm scared though? What if I get on You Need a Budget and they're telling me, dude, you spend way more money than you actually make? Because that's normally the case.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to deal with
that by your spreadsheets.
It'll be in the red, like literally a red bar. But you can go online and they actually have all this education, like 20-minute videos on basically how to pay down a credit card, how to split, how to work with a partner.
Okay.
There's a lot of education on their website.
Okay. You sold me. I'll try it.
Yeah. Good. Try it. I think everyone should, just because of how much anxiety it took away from my life.
I running a business, for a while, Dave and I were just we just had a running list of stuff that was coming in, but eventually I did a burn sheet. We call it our burn sheet, where it's like, okay, so this is everything that we know is going to be charged for the year. This is all of our monthly stuff. This is what we know is coming in, and it's just one long Excel sheet of the entire year of everything that's going in and coming out of our bank account and stuff that we know will be due at a certain point. So we know at what point we go broke if we don't do any work from that point on.
It's helpful,
and so it's really nice knowing how much time you've got. Where it's like, okay, we're going to run out of money in 3 months. So we need to start, booking some work or something like that.
If we don't get a single gig between now and whenever in the next 6 months to a year, then we'll be that way. You can always judge. Okay, well now if that number goes down to 5 months, you're like, okay, we really need to conjure up some more business to push that to like a year or whatever.
And the amount of stress that took off of me, talking about budget and stress wise, the amount of stress that took off of me was absolutely insane. Like we stopped worrying about money as a company, on that part.
Yeah.
Because
because it's not intangible anymore.
Right. And, we're able to see, okay, we can afford to give ourselves a little raise, for the next few months, or we can we did pretty well this month, let's give ourselves a little bonus or something like that. Oh, we can afford 8 3080s, to upgrade our systems if we can ever find them.
We can buy ourselves some new VR headsets for Christmas.
Yeah, some new VR quests
for budgeting
for Christmas.
Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a knowledge is power kind of thing. And it's easy to just I don't know, I can't look, I can't bear it. But then instead that pain is spread out over just if a big bill comes. But I don't mind now if I get, I don't know, $300 for car insurance or whatever. Just, I've already budgeted that. Yeah. So you just...
You pay $300 for car insurance?
Michigan is bad. Is it? It's the worst in the country, I think.
I pay $119 for me and my wife.
I pay very close to that as well.
We pay actually probably closer to $400. And it's worse in Detroit. I think they just changed a law, but you used to have to pay for unlimited complete coverage for anybody that if you had an accident. there was like the coverage was
Have
way
you tried
too
Geico?
high.
You know,
or something.
15 minutes could save you 20%
It's
or
pretty
more.
messed up.
That's what we use. We use Geico.
It's bad.
I was getting charged
yeah.
like $200 and something a month, and my parents with my brother on their insurance was paying like way less than me. I was like, why am I paying this? You know, I just switched over to Geico.
Well, you bought a house. Are you able to do a package deal? Because I know some of them will give you a discount on auto if you have them for homeowners.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. This is all bundled. This is as low as they could get it. Billy said, "I'm not even going to say what I pay to insure my car." Maybe being a younger guy, it's worse.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually like criminal how bad it is. In
That
Michigan.
is crazy.
It's predatory.
What is that? Why
We're working on it.
It's like it and that amazes me that it can be so different across states. Like same with health insurance. I'm sure what we pay here, like my health insurance is $560 a month for just myself, you know?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think total we probably pay $1,400 or $1,500 a month for me, my wife, and my 2 kids. Yeah.
Wow.
When it used to be, I could get the exact same thing
lot.
for $150. You know.
Oh my gosh.
Myself. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's not bad.
That's
Mine's
crazy.
like $350, but you know, it's probably going to go up this year because I purposely had to not write anything off in order to make it look like I had more income to buy this house. So, you know, I think that's going to be. I don't even know if I qualify anymore. So.
Billy says he pays more than double what Collin pays.
Wow. He has a nicer car.
Yeah. He's also got 2 cars, doesn't he? Yeah.
Maybe.
He keeps on
no fault car insurance.
He keeps on buying all those Ford Focuses. Right? He's got like 2 of them. Billy, don't you have 2 of them?
I haven't seen Billy in person in like a year.
I know,
right?
Pandemic.
He bought that. He had a white one or a red one, and then he bought a blue one. I don't know.
Yeah, he's a car boy. No fault car insurance. That's what it is.
The ST and
Crazy.
the RS, of course. Yeah, you know. Anyway, all right.
So,
last thing on the list is life hack. Your favorite life hack, and as we usually say, Mitch Myers. Almost said Mitch Hedberg. Mitch Myers. Mitch Myers. Hack is to turn the toaster on its side for some bomb-ass grilled cheese. So, yeah. I've tried it.
I don't think it works.
I tried it and I tagged him on Instagram.
Well, you know, it said life hack.
Oh yeah, I forgot we put that in
book.
there. That's right.
That's fine. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So I really couldn't think of a life hack.
That's okay.
And my book is probably going to sound really boring, but it's called Spell of the Sensuous by David Abram. And it's kind of like a philosophy book. It's kind of about like our language and nature and kind of like our bodies, and how part of why we're so messed up is because we've been severed from nature, kind of disconnected.
Perception and language in a more than human world. That's cool.
It's so interesting. So it's not something you sit down and read all the way through, but I pick it up and just read a paragraph and get so much out of it. It's just really interesting. This guy's a sleight of hand magician.
Ooh.
So it's for a very unusual book that'll make you think thoughts you hadn't thought before. It's Spell of the Sensuous.
Illusion. Funny.
So yeah, that's my favorite book.
Cool.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
that
my
works.
life hack is get that book.
That's perfect.
Yeah. I like that.
Cool.
Yeah. No, it's kind of vague.
Well, we appreciate you being on the show. Tell everybody.
Yes, thank you so much.
Where are
Thanks
you
for having me.
on the Grams and the Facebooks and the Twitters, or not on the Twitters?
Yeah, where can people find you?
I am on the Twitters, but I don't really use it very much. My colleague Handel told me to use it more, and he knows about life, so I'm going to try to use it more. I'm more active on Instagram at Collin Leix, just like my little window says. Boop, boop.
Good.
I have abandoned Facebook.
Good. I have been using it so much more lately, and I hate myself for going there.
Well, there's some stuff that people say, it's really useful. Well, you have to have one now for Oculus account.
Yeah.
So I have a burner, but I don't know, Facebook Marketplace, they say that's really useful.
I posted something the other day, and I haven't gotten a single...
That's where I found my pool table.
Come on. These are washer dryer risers for $150. You normally have to pay $200 to $300 per riser. You're getting a good deal, people. Sorry.
People don't appreciate it.
I found the pool table I've got on there, so it's...
Yeah.
No.
Whatever.
There's still some, I don't know. Well, I haven't been,
I've been sucked
lured
back in
back
this
on
week
yet.
a little bit. I was doing really well until the last 7 days, and I was just, I don't know, sucked back in, trying not to. It's too distracting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Well, it was designed to do that to you.
Mm-hmm.
What's that show on Netflix about it? It's like the social experiment. Have you guys been talking about this?
So good.
Every week.
So good.
Every
Don't get me
week.
started. It's so good.
Social
it was
Dilemma.
so upsetting.
Yeah.
Social Dilemma.
Yeah, you should
I
watch
still
it.
haven't seen it.
Oh.
I know.
It's
I know.
Yeah.
I
Right.
had to finish
It's upsetting.
Bones
But it's
first.
also a well done documentary. Topic aside, it's just so well put together and explained so well. So,
Yeah. It was so weird too for like one guy to come up and his description is like he invented the infinite scroll. Like that's his badge of honor. Like, oh, that was just invented by somebody.
Yeah.
That's you've sucked so many hours out of my
It's
life.
like that
So I'm just
Simpsons
like,
joke. What was it? The the radio things where people yammer back and forth about nothing? I invented those, and the guy punches him in the face. It's just like that. I invented infinite scroll.
just really a little evil, but he also was good at it.
Yeah.
He was good at his job.
But you see,
did what it was supposed to do. But all those people don't let their kids on social media.
and a lot of them left
people who
the
invented
jobs that they
updating.
had
That's
because
funny.
they were not concerned about the companies they were working for necessarily, but just the ethics of what they're doing in general. It's like, imagine you go through school and you get really good at something and you have this computer science degree and you start doing these amazing things that are technically so hard to pull off. And then you're like, wait a minute. Ethically, should I be doing this? Yeah.
Yeah. And you're like, I'm going to save the world. I looked at my screen time recently and I made my dad guess. Like, what do you think
What
it
is
is?
it? I want to
the
know.
average.
I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours.
I mean, this also though includes like podcasts while I'm walking the dog, and like if I can't sleep in the middle of the night, like I fall asleep and it's still playing and stuff.
Mine.
It's sometimes it's a full-time job.
Mine hit about 6.5 hours. But I'll tell you, that is not from podcasts or anything. That is from Reddit and TikTok.
Yeah, and it counts
Most
like if
of
you're
that.
using your GPS and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine is
We're
3
not
hours
always
and
that
31
much.
minutes. That's not bad.
My dad guessed like,
Oh,
that's not too
oh,
bad.
Dave, you're so good.
Because I'm
My dad guessed like 2 hours. And I was like, more.
Where are you at, Matt?
I brought it down. It was at like 7.5 when I first discovered TikTok. Yeah.
What would we do with our time
I think about
otherwise
that
if this
often.
is the 70s,
Yeah. We'd
Draw,
go outside,
read,
go to a park and hang out with our friends.
exercise.
Yeah.
Of course, if it was a pandemic. I don't know.
Right. It's also a pandemic. We get a free pass.
It's a pandemic,
We're doing the best
right?
we can.
Once it's over, my
No.
I'm still going to be stuck
I
at
thought
home.
about
Who
that
am
too.
I
I'm like,
kidding?
what would we be doing in the 70s if this pandemic were in the 70s? Like, just
Right?
no internet, no Netflix, no.
Well, I feel like people would be a lot more responsible and people would be wearing masks
No fake
if science told them to wear masks,
Like
like
1918.
not just chin diapers.
Maybe.
The chin diapers.
I don't know.
Chin diapers.
Yeah. I'm getting scared that like as much good as there is from the internet, sometimes there is just as much bad.
Yeah.
Like what if it's equal? Just like everybody's.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's smarter people than me who could figure it all out, but maybe the conspiracy theories wouldn't be as bad.
Yeah, I don't
know.
I saw a thing that said like the biggest driving force for misinformation or something within this was Trump and Facebook. Like it's like
Trump himself.
Man. Whatever.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll all just be a bad dream.
Right? We'll all wake up in 6 months and it's 2016 again.
It was just
let's try it again.
Let's try it again. Oh no, we got elected again. What happens?
No, let me out of this simulation. I hate it.
I did not make up chin diapers. That is from South Park. But ever since seeing that episode, you know,
and you see people doing it, they're like,
special,
it's a chin diaper.
You know, nice chin diaper.
You got a chin diaper.
Will our chin diapers protect us? No. Oh,
I haven't
it's so
seen
good.
That. I'm totally gonna watch that.
It was pretty good. It was. I mean, it's South Park. It's been weird ever since they took the focus off the kids and focused more on Randy and his weed business. You know, but like it was good. You know, I mean, they make fun of themselves, and I don't know. Trump Garrison he's Trump Garrison. You know.
Oh no, is that Mr. Garrison?
Yeah, Mr. Garrison basically is Donald Trump.
He's been Trump for quite a few years now.
Yeah, he's been Trump for a few years. Yeah. I don't know. It's funny. So
sad. So sad.
Yeah, so sad. Anyway,
thank you.
Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. This is so great. It's great to spend time with y'all.
Yeah. It'll be once we're gonna have a big party. I keep saying it. We're going to have a big party, a big party once it's all over.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's do it. I'm there.
Be awesome.
Yeah, we're working on some fun stuff. We got plans.
Yes, we are.
We got plans.
Oh, great.
Yes,
well, I believe you. You two will make it happen.
We're going to try. If anybody wants to send some money our way for some of these things, that'd be nice.
If Bose would like to sponsor us, we're still not sponsored by Bose.
If I completely lost my thought. I was going to say, I was just going to remind everybody again about Halloween. Episode.
Halloween special.
Yeah, Friday the 30th.
October 30th.
Sure you get ready to call in, check your Skype settings ahead of time, make sure that it's, you got the microphone and the speakers and everything working, and we'll make all that happen. We'll give you info once the show is live on how to call in and screen name and all that kind of stuff. And you can rate us on iTunes, leave a review, subscribe on your podcatcher of choice, helps get our ratings up. Leave us a review. Like, it's been a long time since we've asked for some iTunes reviews, but we need some new, more up-to-date iTunes reviews. You can subscribe to the newsletter as well. Get on that list. If you go to our classes page, you can also sign up to get alerts on when new classes come out. You can say you've been there, done that, got the t-shirt with the Mograph logo tee, the Paul Babb Feel the Bab 2020 shirt. All the profits from that go to Doctors Without Borders. The Render Things t-shirt, hoodie, and long sleeve tee. And of course, the That Render Is Fire shirt, which you're only allowed to wear ironically, unless you're shams. Fire. It's fire.
That is fire.
Fire. Anyway.
I can't wait to hear those client stories.
Me too.
Yeah,
that'll be fun. Satisfying.
I got to write down. Right? We got to write down our own as well.
Yeah.
So we'll start out with ours.
I've got a client currently right now that I'm working on a project, and I hate the generic request. It's like, we need to make this whole thing a little bit more snappy.
It's gonna pop.
We need it to pop. Like this one.
But that's not.
Let's
that
make
bad.
this more dynamic. It's text.
It's not as bad as the horse project.
Just right. Oh gosh, the horse. Oh, is that gonna be? That's gonna be our story, isn't it? Yeah. All right.
Uh-oh.
Oh man, you need to download some of those videos so that we can show them.
I don't want to show them. Nobody's ever going to see that.
Yeah, they're so
nobody's
bad.
ever going to see it.
No, okay. You don't ever want anyone to see that.
That's like
Were any animals harmed in the horse project?
no. They weren't.
But it was probably the worst motion graphics we've ever done.
And,
in
I mean,
our
unless you
life.
count me as an animal being harmed in the process. But,
Oh,
I mean, humans are animals.
Right.
just
Humans
emotionally
are
harmed.
Emotionally
Right.
disturbed, and that would be like posting a negative reel. What was the anti-reel we were talking about?
The anti-reel.
Yeah,
All of your worst
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, all right, we're gonna get out of here. Make sure that you hit us up. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Mograph.com, all the things. Send us
Mhm.
anything, whatever, yo. We'll be there.
Yeah.
We're listening. Talk to you a little bit. Talk to you next time.
Yeah.
See you on the internet, all that. Until next time, I'm Dave.
I'm Matt.
I'm Collin.
Have a good one.
Later, yo.
Bye.
It's pretty good, I guess. Mograph.com, an online resource for motion graphic artists. Start your week with the Mograph podcast. Industry news, interviews with your favorite artists, and terrible humor. Watch live shows and interviews from Mograph events like NAB, SIGGRAPH, Half-Res, and local meetups. Our Mograph Talks feature live demos and motivation from artists all around the world.
Sometimes you gotta make stuff that you're not gonna put on your reel, and I'm not here to judge.
What if Rick and Morty show up for the countdown at midnight? That's where I peaked in life, in my career.
We gotta stop this thing, Rick! It's gonna kill us all!
Hear from the people that create your software, design your render engines, and artists that are changing the face of modern motion graphics.
You get that render done. Yeah, you better frame what?
Mograph tutorials and online classes will teach you about Cinema 4D, After Effects, as well as other popular software and render engines.
Throw in the HDR Studio, take the render settings, pick the HDR, put in a reflection, and gorgeous.
Branch into new software. Learn time-saving tips, techniques, workflows, and lessons that'll keep you up to date in the world of motion design.
Oh, brother, those are some of my favorite elves.
I love projects that scare me. When our art director comes to us and asks for something that I had never done before, man, it gets me pumped.
Join the conversation in our live sessions. Check out our plugins or join the hundreds of daily active users in our Slack channel for technical help, advice, contests, or just to joke around. Real nice banana.
Ah, that's so funny. All right. I'm gonna live forever.
Subscribe today and get the latest updates on our YouTube and other social media channels.
Take all your dreams and just do it!
We don't care how you get here, folks. Just get here. Subscribe to Mograph.com.